And welcome to Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Mike Pache. We are counting down the top 10 police chases of 2025. You know, right here on Live Now from Fox, we always bring you some of the latest live feeds and breaking news alerts all in real time throughout the year. So we thought, hey, let's put together another top 10, just like we did last year, of the top 10 police chases of 2025. And we start with number 10.
Right now, our expert on these police chases, Tim, this is an LAPD pursuit in Van Nuys at Delano Street and Cedros. What do you know at this hour?
Right now, there's not much information on this that we've confirmed, but LAPD has been chasing this for quite a while and have attempted spike strips a couple times now. It does have the right or left front tire flat, and you'll see that spark every once in a while, but it's been pretty much going in circles in this area around the valley now on Van Nuys Boulevard. So LAPD, along with their helicopter, is staying with it. You can see another turn here going back, but right now they're just waiting for that tire to fail and hopefully for the car to become disabled to where the suspect won't be able to pursue anymore. But they have, like I said, attempted spike strips, and unknown if the tire is flat from that or from other sort of damage he may have done during this pursuit.
Well, if there's any good news, of course, the streets here in this part of the valley, they're rather wide, so you can make a turn like he just made, even at a quick pace, and not hit a car parked on the street. What will be their number one concern at this hour at 9:15 at night?
Well, right now would be pedestrians, because even though the streets are wide and he's able to make those turns, because he's circling in the same area over and over, it tends to draw people out. And then you might have people out in the street trying to get their social media pictures and become victims of this. But just sticking with them right now and just watching the procedure by the LAPD right now. Looks like they're just sticking with them, trying to keep track of him with the helicopter, with the ground car, in case it does come to a stop, but not being too aggressive with the vehicles. But like I said, with these turns he's doing, staying in the same general area, I'm sure they're setting up some type of plan to be able to disable the rest of the tires on this, but at the same time not being really aggressive to where they're trying to do the pit maneuver or spin him out. But, these streets here can bring people out, as I said, and, you don't see that pedestrian or a person standing in the street until it's too late. But hopefully he runs out of tires, or this driver runs out of tires here shortly before anybody really gets hurt.
They're now at Calvert Street and Kester. Ooh, just hit a car right there, flipped over on his side.
Yeah.
So shows you the danger, right, Tim? I mean, he wasn't going that fast.
Not at all. He just moved over, just hit that car just right and sent him up over the side. And now they're going to have to hold the positions and be very careful getting in on this, because even though he's a wanted suspect, they have to be protected getting in there. You see them making a very aggressive move. Obviously, it must be the windshield now, because that's the way he's coming out, and now taking him into custody, and now they'll call for LA Fire Department to come in and render aid if needed.
We were hearing now assault with a deadly weapon suspect. So as retired law enforcement, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is a 10. And this is something you have to be very concerned about. We saw about a dozen officers approaching, and it is a very delicate operation. He's a suspect, but he also was potentially injured when he lost control of his vehicle.
That's correct, and that's would be happy not only having to protect yourself in this situation, you also have to go up and render aid if that person is hurt. And for what I'm looking at, it looks like maybe the windshield came out, or I couldn't tell if there was a moonroof on it. But the way they pulled him out, it definitely was through the front there, and that might be part of the window that's there on the side. So luckily they had good eyes on him as they came up to it, so they weren't too afraid of what was going on, and could see that he was incapacitated, and were able to get up on him pretty quickly, get him out, and now they'll start checking him, making sure he's okay, that he's breathing, he's conscious, and now LA Fire Department's been already called to come, and they'll clear them into the scene to render aid. But yeah, it's a very dicey thing when you have a possible armed suspect and they crash. Now you have to figure which one can you get done here, protecting yourself and also rendering that aid.
Really, they have to perform on many levels at this point. The number one priority is to keep the public at large safe, to try to take the suspect in peacefully, and also to try to prevent any kind of an accident. I don't know if we're able to re-rack that tape at all, that all of a sudden he was turning that corner. And I don't know, Tim, what would you guess his speed to have been? I would have thought maybe 35, 40. He didn't seem to be at an excessive speed.
To me, it just looked like he ran up the back of that car and just got the right angle with that tire and drove up the back of that car. So I've seen that happen where they've hit parked cars, and for whatever angle they hit it, it causes it just to go straight up into the air and roll over like that. But the speed was not that high, but it was enough to roll it over. I mean, it really did just pop up over the back of that parked car and then right up the side and turn on over.
Tim Lim, we thank you so much for your perspective tonight. We want to just remind our viewers, this was a suspect for an assault with a deadly weapon. It ended in the San Fernando Valley at Calvert and Cedros in Van Nuys, with the driver of that car losing control, ending up on the side of the vehicle. You see it right there, who's now receiving treatment from the officers who were in pursuit of him a short time ago.
Quite the scene right there in that police chase. All right, let's keep the countdown going. Now on to number 9 of 2025. We also want to go out to some breaking news that we are seeing in the Los Angeles area. The police chase where the suspect just got out of the vehicle, bailed from this stolen van, and now police right now are trying to locate the suspect here. So they ditched out on the vehicle and now try to make it a foot pursuit here. So we are going to be continuing to follow this for you. As long as we have these Skyfox images, we'll stay on it until they have a suspect in custody. You see the police now trying to locate where this person went to right after bailing from this stolen van here. So the Skyfox is up. They also have their chopper up trying to locate the suspect. And again, we continue to always bring you the top stories here, live feeds as they're happening. Looks like we have Fox 11 Los Angeles. They just started to bring their viewers into this. Let's join their coverage right now.
Off on foot. Police are now converging in that area in Whittier. Coming up, terrifying moments.
All right, they are going to dump out of it. We'll dump back in. Let's go and see what we can see from Skyfox images right now, continuing to try to locate where that suspect is here. And it looks like they're going down this little ravine here. And you can see the police do have their weapons out. They are trying to see if they can locate this person inside the brush area. So again, we are going to be keeping an eye on this. As long as we have the feed, we'll stay on it for you until the suspect is arrested. But again, you just never know what's going to happen here on Live Now from Fox. We go from international events. We just had a breaking news event here from Southern California. We take it to you as it is happening. So this is a shot here of the police trying to locate the suspect after this police chase, where the suspect said, okay, enough's enough. They're going to bail out and try to make it a foot chase here. But now it doesn't seem like they got too far here, because the police are really taking their efforts here in this brush area down the ravine from the vantage point that we can see right now. A little hard to see all the actions going on because of nightfall in Southern California, but we're showcasing the best that we can from the images that we are getting right now of this active look for a suspect right now. And you see the different police that are on the ground here with their flashlights trying their best right now in this darkness to locate where this person went after bailing out. The suspect left the vehicle ditched out, and now we are waiting for confirmation that the police have the suspect in custody. But you can see the flashlights continuing to really try to track down where this person may have went to. So great vantage point here that Skyfox is giving us right now, and we are keeping an eye on it for you on all different angles right here. As more information will come in, we will pass that along to you. But again, we are just seeing these live raw images come in from courtesy of our friends of Skyfox high up in the air right now. But again, another look here as the police using their flashlights trying to see where this person may have dumped out at and ran off to in this brush area. Hard to see in the dark, obviously, and police trying their very best. We'll see if they have a K9 on the scene as well in just a little bit. We'll be keeping an eye on all of the different elements as they come in. And if we get more details from police, we'll be sure to pass that along to you as well. All right, so we're keeping an eye on here. Just learned from my producer that we are going to be getting some of the police chase as it was happening just a little bit ago. We were bringing that in as we just got it, and now we want to again showcase that to you. But this happening right now, this active look here of the suspect. Right now, the search continues as we bring all of these elements in for you right here on LiveNOW from Fox. But we're just going to put up a 2-box right now showing you the live images, but also what happened moments ago as well. So let's bring that to you right here on LiveNOW from Fox, and you can see just moments ago how this police chase looked. Skyfox images showing you that van right there, the suspect leading the police on this chase in Southern California, and you can see the suspect taking that exit and going at a high rate of speed after that exit onto the side streets right there, and passing some vehicles, but then also seeing that there was traffic ahead at that red light. The suspect says, all right, enough's enough. Suspect did not even put that van in park. We'll show that to you again, that moment, but you saw the suspect ditch out there. Let's just rewind the tape just a moment ago so you can see what happened there as, we're going back just a little bit ago. We could see, okay, the suspect sees the red light. Okay, there's traffic, going to get out, ditches out, and that vehicle continues on and hits the car in front. And that suspect just continues on their way and then gets lost. Let's take you out live full right now. You can see some of the aftermath of that chase where it ended up near that intersection. And now this is how far the search is right now in this brush area that police are really centering a lot of their attention on, as this chase has now taken a different scene, as from a vehicle chase to a foot chase, and now a try to locate of a suspect that they feel is somewhere in this area right now. You can see more police checking out right at the top of that ravine area. They're on the other side of it there as well. So more law enforcement is coming out. They're trying to get a look here of where the suspect may have went to. Again, we're all about live on LiveNOW from Fox. That is why we bring in these images as soon as we hear about them. Try to bring them to you all in real time right here. But again, just these raw live images coming in of this active search for a suspect that led police on a chase via a vehicle and then a foot chase, and now trying to locate where that person is in this brush area out in Southern California right now. But again, all resources trying to locate the suspect, and you can see the police have all their flashlights out and trying to really do it really step by step and make sure that they are not stepping over the person, but no doubt they're somewhere in this area, they feel like, and trying to put the demands out here for that suspect just to give up and finally come to terms with that they are going to be arrested here in just moments. But so far, we haven't seen any progress being made as of yet. We'll be keeping an eye on all of it for you, though, on Live Now from Fox. All right, just in case, folks, if you're just joining us on Live Now from Fox, I do want to show you what it looked like the moment the suspect said, okay, I got to get out of this vehicle and make a run for it. So we're in a double box right now. Moments ago, top left here, you can see that suspect leading police on this chase. And we were thinking, okay, maybe just how long could this go? You just never know. In Southern California, they've been known to go for long stretches of at times, but that suspect getting off the freeway there and then taking this exit and then finding that Southern California traffic, especially as we are just a couple of days away from Thanksgiving, and then the suspect bails out of the vehicle, and we're going to just follow it for as long as this tape goes right now. And you can see that suspect take the sidewalks and just make a run for it. But Sky Fox was over it the whole time. But let's see the moment where we start to lose the suspect. That'll be interesting to showcase to everyone. And then, of course, on the right, you are looking at a live image trying to locate that suspect as well. But that suspect continued on for another couple of blocks. You can see crossing this street now and continuing on, not really looking around to see if anyone was tailing him, but again, just continuing to push through the different areas in this neighborhood and trying to see, okay, where can I hide out possibly and try to evade the chopper, who no doubt they hear high up above as this person continues on right now. But you can see goes under the underpass, it looks like. And that looks to be maybe the moment where Sky Fox as well as police lose the suspect. So that is where that moment happens. You can see police stopping right there as well. And that is when they got out of their vehicles and then began the search as well. They went right under the roadway here into this underpass. And they were quickly on the scene here. So that was pretty interesting, too, that we were able to see that. But again, they were pretty quick to come to the area. But so far, it doesn't look like police have that suspect right now. Let's go back out live right now, full on it, and we can just show you again. Flashlights continue to try to locate where this person went. All right, it looks like Sky Fox has found the individual here that you can see that suspect. on their knees with the hands behind the back. So great job by law enforcement. Sky Fox able to find it as well. And suspect there on his knees right there with his arms behind his head and giving up right now. So he said enough's enough. The chase is over, the foot chase is over, and now the search is over as well. So great job by law enforcement again to find this individual that ditched out for the last moments of freedom for this individual this evening. But great shot there of Sky Fox showcasing the end result of this police chase. And now we'll just wait to see when police come and put this individual in cuffs. All right, looks like they might be coming a little bit closer now. We do have that, looks to be like a laser in the area as well. And yeah, now here comes law enforcement. They have the looks here and they are doing the commands for the suspect. All right, so the suspect now going to be in cuffs, listening to the demands of the officers. But we brought it again to you all right here on Live Now from Fox as it was happening. And right there, suspect now under arrest there. So great job by law enforcement, able to find and locate that suspect. All right, from one top story that we were following for you this hour to another. Let's go. It's always interesting when they get out of that car. You don't know what is going to happen next, no doubt about it. Let's continue with a high-speed chase that rocks Southern California in this next police chase. We are counting it all down for you. The top 10 police chases of 2025.
What their anchors are reporting. Let's hear what they know about this suspect. Fox 11 Los Angeles is live air. Let's watch.
The driver being accused of opening fire on a big rig. And now it looks like, I don't know, yeah, they're off the freeway now. The driver has gotten onto some kind of surface street, making a hard left turn against the red lights. That's an illegal maneuver as we're following along.
Yeah, this is northeast Anaheim, State College Boulevard, and well, it's changing now, via Burton Way. This is northeast Anaheim. Boy, the speeds here are really fast on these surface streets here. You can see that road is wide open there, 60 miles per hour there, coming up on other vehicles there parked along the side of the road. Turning now here onto this Orangethorpe Avenue and State College Boulevard. Not sure if this driver is from the Anaheim area, being it started in Anaheim. Did they get off the freeway because they know the Anaheim area well? Not sure how much info police have on this driver as well.
Yeah, and that's what's kind of interesting these days, isn't it, Christine, that a lot of times they figure out who the driver is thanks to perhaps the license plate of that vehicle, and then they can actually call people that know the driver to ask them to use their influence to get the driver to stop or slow down, certainly not put others in danger as they try to get out of the way of law enforcement and get away from law enforcement. Going through now, that was a green light actually, so that's good news there, but a lot of drivers become at risk if they are in the way of this pursuit. You do hear the sirens, of course, but it's kind of confusing. Have you ever had that situation, Christine, where you've had somebody go by you, a police pursuit?
Yeah. And not even that, if somebody goes flying by you on the freeway at a high rate of speed, it's alarming. I'm wondering, Susan, on this one, the concern is different when you know somebody has a weapon. If this person is accused of firing at a big rig, that makes you think they have a weapon in the vehicle, a gun in the vehicle, which means police are going to approach this in a much different way, a much more cautious way, knowing that information is out there. You're not going to come up on that vehicle. You're not going to, just approach, without any kind of protection. So when this does come to a stop, if it does, police are probably going to lay back, stay back as they gauge the situation. Not sure if there's anybody also in the vehicle, passengers.
Law enforcement typically are wary, but yes, the fact that there is confirmed information that this driver attempted to fire upon or did fire upon a big rig, certainly adds credibility to the concern that this driver might be armed and dangerous. So as we follow along here, where are they located now? On
Kramer Boulevard and East Mariloma Avenue, again, still in northeast Anaheim. This person was on the freeway, got off onto surface streets here, again, wondering if the person is from the Anaheim area, is staying in an area in which they know it well. Wide open streets, though, but also we don't know how much gas is in that vehicle. It's a heavy vehicle. They could run out of gas much sooner than, say, a compact car. We don't know if there is a full tank there as well. But right now, police are staying on this one. No problem. Blowing through, Susan, a red light, though.
Went right through that red light as the truck continues on. Looks as if perhaps going on to some kind of on-ramp, perhaps going back onto the freeway. It's hard to tell at this time, but it has that look.
Yeah, 91.
All right, so that's the 91 freeway as this driver in a white Silverado continues to evade police. That's called felony evasion. So when police catch up to this driver, and it's more than likely that police will indeed catch up to the driver, at the minimum, this driver will face evasion, felony evasion, what they call felony evasion for trying to get away from law enforcement as they are following with lights and sirens trying to get them to pull over. So on the 91 freeway now going westbound, still in the northeast Anaheim area, law enforcement would be police from Anaheim, and that's where the want started, was somewhere in Anaheim, where this driver is accused of assault with a deadly weapon.
Speeds are now above 70 miles per hour, looking at 90 here on our tracker. There are other motorists there on the road. So this guy is guy or female, not sure. This driver's flying by these other vehicles at a high rate of speed. You have that helicopter overhead that can light things up and perhaps serve as some kind of warning. But also you had a lot of police cars that were following this vehicle that can send some kind of signal or warning to people that there is a pursuit in their area. But still, very concerning for other motorists there on the freeway.
Excuse me, Christy, we have Dennis Sign on the phone. We, of course, are very familiar with Dennis as a former LAPD officer as well as city council member. And Dennis, what is your take on what's going on here? Now it looks as if this driver is getting off the freeway, has gotten off the freeway, North State College Boulevard. Dennis? Oh.
Well, we hope to get Dennis back on the line. He gives great perspective as to police tactics and something like this. And yeah, Susan, you noted back onto surface streets. Again, I'm noticing this driver is staying in the greater Anaheim area, having gotten off the freeway twice, when sometimes we see these pursuits go into completely different counties and neighborhoods as they try to get away.
Absolutely. And we often say that if they stay in a certain location, it's probably because they have familiarity and they feel more comfortable doing that. I gotta think that this driver is thinking eventually he's going to have to stop, and that there are only so many ways that a driver can get away from law enforcement, but right now they're right on the driver's tail. So it seems unlikely that the driver will get away, but perhaps that's because I'm rooting for law enforcement in this one.
Yeah, well, also you have to wonder what happened that this driver is accused of pulling a gun or pulling a gun on a big rig. Was it some kind of road rage incident? Was it something more sinister? Not sure what happened there, but obviously that was called in to authorities. They were able to pick up the vehicle here, and here you have this pursuit on surface streets again in the Anaheim, now Santa Ana Garden Grove area. So a little bit of moving around, but back on surface streets here.
It's just on the border there of those two cities. All right, so as we watch this driver wend its way around the Santa Ana, Anaheim, Garden Grove area, you see that the driver picks up speed and can hit speeds of upwards approaching 60 miles per hour on these surface streets, which of course is quite nerve-wracking, and going through that red light there, quite nerve-wracking indeed, because, you know, in this kind of situation, relatively early in the evening on a Wednesday, there could be people out, pedestrians crossing the street, other cars that can get involved. Looks like back on an on-ramp here.
Yeah.
Is that again the 91 freeway?
Can't quite tell just yet, but obviously this driver has been going on and off of freeways, not really going out of the Anaheim area though. Oh, now on the 57.
Now on the 57.
Then on the 91, now on the 57 going southbound. I can't imagine at this hour, Susan, there's a lot of traffic anywhere unless there's some kind of construction zone.
Okay, we've got Dennis Zine back on the phone. Sorry about that, Dennis. Now we have you again so that you can take a look at what's going on with this driver. What is your take?
Very, very dangerous driving, very dangerous actions by the suspect. We know there's a lead vehicle. I think there's 7 police vehicles in this particular pursuit. And if there is a gun involved, obviously great caution by the officers. We see them going parallel to 2 officers, the 2 squad cars. But they've got enough resources there. Obviously, there's air unit overhead. And this is going to continue until he comes to stop, whether he crashes or he voluntarily stops. I doubt if he's going to voluntarily stop since it's been going on for this length of time. But the concern is for the pedestrians, for the vehicles. Fortunately, it's late, 8:23, and that's going to give us opportunity to hopefully take him into custody without harming the general public or getting any collisions with general public. But he's obviously fleeing at a high rate of speed and
getting off the freeway
75
again.
plus miles an hour. So he'll go back and forth. Does he know his area? Probably not. If he's wandering in and out, getting up on the freeway, off on the freeway, but he's going through those mid-phase red lights, which is extremely dangerous. And that's when the innocent people end up getting victimized by this kind of situation. Well, and if he's doing this, he's probably a repeat offender, which would not surprise us at all.
Yeah, indeed. Well, the thing is about this particular area, when you have the 57 and the 90, they do intersect. And it seems as if he was sort of staying in the Anaheim area, and you can quite easily traverse the 57 to the 90 and then back down a different freeway in order to get onto the 91, which is where he is now, or the driver is now on the westbound 91. Getting off, and that looked like a rather dangerous maneuver there, kind of jetting into traffic as we watch this white Silverado. Driver is accused of assault with a deadly weapon. Dennis, right behind.
Dennis, what do you make of this driver getting on the freeway, off the freeway, on the freeway? I mean, we've seen this repeatedly within a matter of minutes.
Well, he's trying to obviously lose the officers, but with the helicopter, it's doubtful he's going to lose the officers. And we've got enough units, the local agencies, and I think the California Higher Patrol is obviously in this at one stage or another. They're not going to give up. And if one of the police units bails out, there'll be others in line. There's 7 or 8 local police units involved. And obviously, like right now, he's going to be on the wrong side of the road. I'm surprised he hasn't collided yet. This kind of driving on the wrong side of the double yellows, that's obviously extremely hazardous, dangerous. But they're going to pursue him. If there was a gun involved, they will pursue. If there were shots fired during that time, if it was just a display, assault with a deadly weapon, whatever the case may be, it's a high priority felony, and they're going to go after him and take him into custody, whether he voluntarily stops, which doesn't look at this particular time he's going to do that, or the truck gives out, which oftentimes we see, or they use a spike strip. There's all kinds of alternates, but the bottom line is with air unit overhead and sufficient ground units, they'll continue following this as long as they need to take him into custody. And wouldn't be surprised if he's been through this procedure of arrest, incarceration in the past. Normal people don't do this kind of situation. Wrong side of roadway, hindering damage and hindering the public right-of-ways. Fortunately, it's late at night, and fortunately, there's not a lot of traffic. If this was commuter time, this would extremely be dangerous. So what we don't have is cars, motorcycles, bicycles, pedestrians. It's a desolate area just because of the time of night going on 8:30 in the evening in that particular part of Orange County.
Yeah.
Anaheim.
At what point do you think Anaheim police will hand this off to a different agency, Dennis? Do you have any sense?
Well, if he goes into another jurisdiction or he gets on the freeway, but the initial units will stay with it. Another agency may take over the lead. This kind of situation, I don't see them terminating. Oftentimes, because of the hazard situation, they will terminate. But in this particular case, you don't have traffic of any sort. You don't have pedestrians. You don't have the hazards that you normally see if it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon, people leaving work going home. So with this kind of situation, they're going to stay with it. And again, I think there's 7 or 8 local agencies in addition to the Highway Patrol. So as we see these narrow incidents, dangerous, extremely dangerous, but he knows they're behind him, and he's going to flee until he either crashes or I don't think he's going to voluntarily stop. If they do a spike strip, that'll be good. But as you see the hazardous driving, he just doesn't care and he wants to escape. If they oftentimes escape into large parking lots, I don't see any of those around. So they're going to stay with this individual, and there's enough units in there to stay with him and take him into custody, or she, whichever it's male or female.
Well,
this is going to continue on.
You know, Dennis, we certainly wouldn't be the first person and the first time where you basically know that the sentiment is, as long as I'm driving and not stopped 100% by police, I'm just going to keep going because that means I am not in custody. So
that's correct.
There's no real reason for the driver to stop if he is worried or he or she is worried about the consequences.
Well, there's going to be consequences one way or another. The chances of escape are very slim to none. So this fleeing isn't going to accomplish anything except increase the penalties, increase the time incarcerated. Once the arrest takes place and the booking takes place, and there'll probably be a hold with an extremely high bail, and then it goes through the criminal justice system and the process through courts. But with the traffic as light as it is, and oftentimes pursuits are terminated and we just follow by air. But in this particular situation, traffic is so light, it doesn't justify, especially with a weapon involved, to let the individual go. So I believe they'll stay with this until it comes to a stop, whether the truck gives out or something else takes place.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, we don't know how much gas is in that vehicle. Also, Dennis, the concern here, it's a heavy vehicle. If this vehicle gets in an accident with another car going at a high rate of speed, that could be bad.
Well, it could be extremely bad, especially a small compact with the speed, the velocity, and the weight of the truck. That would cause very serious damage. A pedestrian, a bicycle rider, a motorcycle rider, etc. There's a lot of possibilities, but then that would just increase the charge. Right now, whatever the charge, if it's ADW, then there's fleeing the police, the pursuit. So we're racking up the charges, all the traffic violations that are being committed. Those are all part of the process, and they'll review the tape, and they'll review this, and they'll decide all the aspects that took place. They'll make a copy of that tape.
Some traffic there had to slow down. Patrol car right behind that keeps on going. Now,
this will all be part of the process once he's taken into custody.
Right. This driver seems to tend to hang around the State College Boulevard area, both going northbound and southbound. Back into the northeast Anaheim area, Christine, that's pretty much where we started. Now on the wrong side.
That's the first we've seen of that, where the driver has gone into the wrong lanes, making that pursuit. Whoa,
right in front of a patrol car.
Yeah, but Susan agreed. This is the first time we've seen that, where the driver has gone into the wrong lanes, and again,
it's still on it. Yeah, still
head on
in the opposing lane.
Very scary.
It's a divided highway. This is extremely dangerous on a divided highway, as we see.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
Now, imagine you are approaching that vehicle, and it's shocking.
Dennis, would they do a pit maneuver after seeing? Are they moving in to do one? Interesting. Here we go.
There's the pit.
Oh wow, it's a heavy vehicle.
A little wobble did get some damage there.
The pit would
be try again
at any time. There we go.
Going through a red light. Whoa.
Wow. All right, so obviously police taking more aggressive moves now to bring this pursuit to an end with that pit maneuver, and they had that road wide open there. But how hard is it, Dennis, with a vehicle like this, a heavy vehicle?
Well, they could do it. I mean, that's a pickup. It's a pickup truck, but it's not one of those heavy pickup trucks, but it is a pickup truck. It does have some weight to it, but the police car can take it out without big problem. I mean, spin it out and take it out. That's what they need to do. They need to bring this to a stop because it's obviously going on way too long. Public jeopardy is really in trouble with what we see happening. There's a great hazard to the community as this travels through.
He gets a nudge by the patrol car. As long as everybody stops, then he would be trapped, but people want to get out of there.
Oh, look, they're pushing it.
Oh, that's interesting.
They're pushing it. Wow.
Onto the sidewalk, but that still gives him egress. It allows him to keep going. But you're right.
Yeah,
ever since he went into the wrong lane, opposing lane of traffic, law enforcement got a little bit more assertive about trying to catch up to that car.
And
they want to stop him.
Go ahead, Dennis.
They definitely want to stop. They'll use whatever means they can do now because obviously he's showing total disrespect. He wants to go at all costs. I wouldn't be surprised. He's not going to bail. If he bails out, he's got a ton of officers around him. He's not going to go on foot. So he'll go as far as he can. And we've seen these pursuits go for a long period of time. The benefit right now is it's very light traffic, extremely light traffic. And that's a safety hazard. So we want to make sure if it wasn't for that, they may have terminated this pursuit and just going by the air unit. But with the light traffic, we don't really put many people in jeopardy just because traffic is so light. You see, there's no pedestrians and bicycles, etc. Those are inherent hazards. Everyone's coming home from work, but he'll blow these red lights, mid-phase red. But again, you've got all those sirens blaring. You got the helicopter overhead, and they're going to continue doing this. And I think that truck's going to start giving out as we see some smoke coming out of it. I think you're going to see that truck maybe lose the ability to continue to flee.
Well, there was a part that flew off after that first pit maneuver, and it looked as if the patrol car was hoping to do yet another one, but didn't quite get the right position. And then traffic built up, frankly. That truck kind of wending its way through some stopped cars at a light. And that was interesting to see the car being pushed by a patrol car onto the sidewalk.
Well, you see the damage. There's a lot of damage to the driver's side. The rear, you see the rear bumper. So that truck is being damaged along this process. And obviously, not going to stop. The only way to be taking this out is that truck to give up, or they're going to do a pit or some other procedure to take it out of service.
Well, Dennis, we just saw that move in action where they were pushing the vehicle while there were other motorists, there are other cars right there stopped at a light. Obviously, not only are police getting more assertive, as Susan used the word assertive, I said aggressive, but as police are making more moves to bring this to a close, I'm thinking about the driver who doesn't seem to be fazed by police bumping up against the vehicle, pushing the vehicle, trying to pit the vehicle. That driver is still going.
Well, they're using what is reasonable, as we term in law enforcement, reasonable means to bring this termination and utilize those procedures. And if it means taking the car up to the curb, whatever the case may be, obviously it didn't work. But what they need to do is bring it to a stop. And the individual, obviously, from the time we've seen, is not going to stop. So it's going to have to be either run out of fuel or have some kind of disabled vehicle situation take place, or he's not going to surrender. He's going to be taken into custody, but it's going to be after this vehicle gives out one way or another.
Well, we also don't know what police may know about this driver. If it was an assault with a deadly weapon accusation here, we don't know how much more information they have on this driver and why they are making these moves to try to bring it to a close.
A lot of information comes from that driver's license, right, Dennis? And in this case, though, we don't know 100% if the driver is the owner of this vehicle or the registered owner of this vehicle. But on the other hand, all they're going on now is the want. If the want is assault with a deadly weapon, if the want is that this driver pulled a gun on a big rig driver, then that's going to inform the way the police go after this white Silverado. If you're just joining us now at 8:36 6:46 in the evening, we've been following this police pursuit, mostly in the Anaheim area and oftentimes on State College Boulevard, if you're familiar with that. The truck has gone on and off the freeway on the 90, the 91, and the 57. But right now, Anaheim police getting a little bit more aggressive, as Christine says, to try to get this driver to stop, because the driver went into opposing lanes of traffic, which is far more dangerous than what we're looking at now. And even what we're looking at now looks pretty nerve-wracking.
Yeah, this isn't the kind of a situation where they're going to do a tracking mode. There's already been so much violence by this individual. They're going to continue with this and bring this to an end, and hopefully sooner than later. But he's obviously not going to surrender, not going to give up. And if it's a stolen vehicle, but when you have a weapon involved, is what is reported, then the deadly weapon, you've got to make sure that individual is taken into custody.
Got close.
And they'll use the means appropriate to do that, and as we see. But I'm concerned, obviously, about the general public as he goes through those intersections at that speed, and the speed is 50 some miles per hour.
Yeah, sorry to be reactive, but it looked as if there was a car coming from a different direction and came awfully close.
But the game changer, Susan, you brought up was when that driver started going into the wrong direction, the wrong lanes of a divided road there, and did it not once, but twice, maybe even 3 times. That's a game changer when you have a truck like this willing to go head on into traffic, towards traffic. And Dennis, we've seen those end very badly when that happens.
Yes, absolutely. We have over the years. They do. This hopefully is going to come to an end soon. He's going to either run out of fuel, or run out of energy, run out of something.
There's the pit. This one is more successful.
Oh, my gosh.
The truck is now smoking, and it looks as if it's disabled. Now the patrol cars will surround that car to ensure that it can't continue driving. But it's smoking now, so you got to get that driver out.
Look at all those police vehicles there, right there, as they brought that pursuit to an end. The driver has not, from what we can see, exited the vehicle. Dennis, how concerned are we seeing this smoke?
Well, he's obviously burning something up in the vehicle. The engine may have gone, or something is causing that. And I wouldn't be surprised if they need the fire department to put that out. They want to get him out of the vehicle, but again, the officers are going to have their weapons out because there's a gun involved, a possible gun involved. So they're going to take caution getting him out, and he's going to have to get out for his own safety. Because that vehicle obviously is, it's now ignited a fire.
Yeah, unless the impact rendered him unconscious. But you see there the police officers with their guns drawn, and they approach every vehicle with a lot of precaution. What am I talking about? But in this case, in particular, they'll be worried because they know that the want on this driver is assault with a deadly weapon.
They backed up there, interesting move there, and took a little more protection, perhaps, behind this vehicle. Remember, this is thought to be a driver with a weapon who perhaps showed the weapon towards a big rig driver. So we know the state of mind is that this driver was willing to do anything to get away, driving in between cars, driving the wrong way in a divided road, straight onto other cars. But look at the positioning there, Dennis, of the law enforcement taking cover for themselves.
Do you think part of it is because they're worried what the vehicle will do? It was all of a sudden they kind of all backed up. We still see 1 or 2 officers with their guns drawn, but
apparently there's a fire within the engine. Looks like coming out of the hood, but they backed up. Maybe he's still in the car with a weapon, and obviously, if he does have a weapon, he could start shooting at the officers indiscriminately, and obviously they don't want to get shot. So they'll use the ballistic panels they have. Whatever the means they have to protect themselves, they're not going to yank him out of the car.
Right.
The car is obviously it's smoking, which means there's some kind of a flame within the engine. So you'd think by now he'd be jumping out of the car. But eventually they're going to have to take him out of that car. They're not going to let the car catch fire and keep him in there, but they got to do extreme caution.
Yeah, watching the pit right now that ended this pursuit. Right there, the vehicle backs into another looks like a retaining wall there, and you see that smoke continue to pour out. This is a very scary situation for law enforcement when you have a person said to have had a weapon who's not exiting the vehicle. You do wonder if the person is conscious, if the airbags went off, if they are not well, but why are they not getting out of that vehicle with all that amount of law enforcement? No way that person can get away.
Airbags can be quite physically damaging. People have been
They got the canine-
rendered
the
unconscious
canines
by an
now.
airbag, especially with the impact with the retaining wall there or the divider there. Meantime, they have a police dog out there, so it's possible they'll send the dog in before an officer goes in. Correct, Dennis?
I can see movement. It looks like there's movement in the cab. I can see movement in the cab of the truck. So he's definitely in the truck, and he's definitely moving around. So with that, he's conscious. If the airbag went off, you can still survive. That's what the airbag is there for, so you can survive. I'm surprised he's not out by now.
Well,
Maybe he doesn't want to come out.
Maybe the vehicle isn't smoking or... Wait, there's a door opening on the back there? On the passenger side?
Yep, here he comes.
Looks like somebody's coming out. Again, we don't know if there was a passenger in the vehicle or if this is indeed the driver, but perhaps this is the way the person could get out of the vehicle. You see law enforcement there kind of repositioning to perhaps have some better commands and visuals. Okay, person's out. A person is out. Hands up.
They're following police orders, so they back up. They have their hands in the air. Eventually, they will be told to lie down onto the asphalt so that they can be cuffed. But we can barely see, but it seems as if they are continuing to back up and back up towards officers. Now, the next question is whether that is indeed the driver and nobody else is in the truck, or if there is somebody else there that they have to concern themselves with. But in the meantime, one person will be in custody shortly.
Out of the passenger side of the car.
Out of the passenger.
The driver's side.
But remember when the police car pushed the truck onto the sidewalk, it was on the driver's side. So that could
Right.
have damaged the car in such a way that you can't get out of the driver's side.
Yeah, possibly.
Right. It came out the passenger side. It doesn't appear that anyone else is exiting. It's hard to see with the visibility.
Yeah, here's a replay of what happened when the truck was stopped by traffic. Police came in and then pushed it onto the sidewalk, but that did allow the truck to go on its way a little longer before the pursuit came to a halt.
And as we're watching the pit maneuver that did end the pursuit, that's it right there on the right side of your screen. It first hit one wall there, then careened into the second wall. And you're right, Susan, maybe the front door, the driver's side door, was not able to be opened, and they were able to communicate somehow and indicate the driver was going to come out the passenger side. But again, Dennis, looking at this positioning here, can you tell if there's anybody else in the vehicle? Police have not given the all clear.
They will search that vehicle. They'll search the driver's side, the passenger side. They'll look into that. There's the front seat, the rear seat. I'm surprised they haven't approached that yet. They do have him in custody. They will definitely search that car and see if they obviously want to find the gun if there is in fact a gun. But it doesn't appear that anyone else is inside that car. But they'll approach that to make sure that there's nothing in there. And this gun is what the big question is. And he came out, his hands obviously be handcuffed, so is there a gun still in the car?
Well, they have the dog right there. I'm surprised they haven't sent the dog in to take a look.
Well, the dog will search for bodies, but they can see if there's any other bodies, any other individuals in there. But he came out it looks like he came out the rear door on the passenger side.
Yeah,
because that's one of those four-door pickup trucks.
Right, there's like a back seat, like sometimes a bench seat.
I'm really watching the back officers there on the right. Guns are still drawn. They're still taking precaution there for their own safety. And you still see the officers there on the left. They're also, they've shielded themselves too. So it does make me wonder if there's not somebody else still inside that vehicle. Now you have that one front police car pressed up against the truck and an officer standing by there. Perhaps that person has the best visual. But Dennis, this posturing makes me think there might be somebody still in that vehicle.
Well, I would say it's a possibility. I mean, they will clear the car, absolutely. I don't know why they haven't done it. They got him in custody. He's there in custody. I'm sure he's got handcuffs by now. They're questioning him, but you've got sufficient officers there to approach that and find out and make sure the car is clear. I'm surprised they waited this time.
Maybe there's somebody in there.
If that's the case, that person would be wise to exit the vehicle. But it's hard with the sight that we have, the darkness.
Yeah.
We don't seem to have that illumination on that cab to really tell.
And of course, because the original want was assault with a deadly weapon, if there is another person in that truck, then the concern would be that person would have access to a gun or some kind of a weapon.
Exactly. But I think during the pursuit, we didn't see more than one individual in the truck during that pursuit. So I'd be surprised.
You have better eyes than I then, Dennis, because I couldn't figure that out.
Well, also, if they have the person in custody, perhaps they're getting information. Again, they have not approached this vehicle. And so I'm still wondering if there's somebody in the vehicle. Obviously, they've got concern. Or are they making the move now? Look here. They have that face shield, that shield. Is that right?
Yes. Ballistic. They have the ballistic shield.
Uh-huh.
So that means there may be somebody else in there, that they have not approached it, and that means there may be somebody else in there.
They got some kind of information that suggests that that's the situation.
They can come up with the ballistic shield. That'll be the lead officer. There'll be officers accompanying that officer on the approach, and that's what they believe. There may be someone that's hiding on the floor. That vehicle obviously hasn't been searched, so they're still standing by, and a supervisor will say, okay, mount that forward and check it out and make sure. I mean, they're not going to leave it without checking.
Yeah, Dennis, or perhaps somebody is disabled or unable to get out of the vehicle or hurt in some fashion. You had one person exit the vehicle. They probably have been able to provide some kind of information, like somebody's inside, but they can't get out, or they hit their head, or whatever reason.
There were two impacted.
They're moving in now. They're moving in.
Oh, watch this. And Dennis, that sort of explains why they didn't send in the dog. So instead, they have the officers with the ballistic shield. They've got that high-powered light there, so they'll check it out to see whether or not there is indeed somebody else in there.
Well, the lead officer will have the ballistic shield. As we see it, they're approaching, and they're going to come up on that car. They got the weapons drawn. The officer with the ballistic shield will be the lead. They're going to look inside with the flashlights and determine if anyone, and if not, then they'll turn around, and it's going to end up being suspect in custody and a car requesting tow.
Oh, they pulled somebody out? Does it look like they have somebody?
No, but it does look like there's a couple of doors open now.
I mean, they're dealing with something there.
Someone could have been hiding. Someone could have been hiding under the seat, on the floorboard.
Their posture doesn't suggest that to me.
Is there someone? I can't see from the picture. It's not that clear.
No, I could be wrong on that. So it looks like.
But they're walking. They're walking back. So they either have someone or not. I don't think anyone came out.
But are they dealing with something there on the ground? Did they pull somebody out onto the ground there? That they're kind of hovering around the ground. I'm just wondering.
You mean on the driver's side of the truck?
Most of them walked away.
Yeah,
maybe they're looking for the gun.
Yeah.
It is sort of interesting. We can, for the first time, see a better view inside the cab a little bit, because the door's now open, and you can see the flashlight going through the cab of this white Silverado.
But you see how there's officers there. They keep going to the ground, and I'm just wondering, I could very well be wrong. Did they pull somebody out who's unconscious or needing medical aid?
I just feel like the posture of these officers suggests otherwise, or the posture suggests that if it is somebody that got pulled out and are disabled somehow, that has allowed the officers to feel more comfortable about changing their stance.
Right.
The guns are back, put away. But bottom line is that this is the end of the pursuit. It's a successful end of the pursuit, in that the truck was finally disabled, and it was pitted. It was pitted a couple of times, and now you're here in this location.
And we continue on with the top 10 police chases of 2025. Let's continue with number 7.
To the Los Angeles area right now, we do have evidence overhead of this police pursuit. Let's take this. You see this kind of white maintenance van, and you see their police pursuing him. This is a stolen car pursuit, and you see this van really weaving in and out of traffic. Very dangerous. Making turns very erratically, but police are far behind, not far behind, rather. And so this is quite congested. I mean, this looks, oh, this is downtown. Okay, this is near the 3rd Street Promenade near Santa Monica Pier. So this is in very kind of dense congestion, urban atmosphere here, not on the highway. And so you see there this white van driving erratically, trying to, oh, wow. It is trying to divert away from traffic. This is a stolen car pursuit in Los Angeles, not abiding by any of these traffic laws, traffic rules here. This is very, very close, though, to the 3rd Street Promenade there in Santa Monica. This is right, wow, this is right near Santa Monica Pier here. If you're familiar with the area, police, wow, this is very dangerous. A lot of pedestrians frequent and traffic this place here, if you're familiar with this part of Los Angeles. But this driver right now is no holds barred. Police are trying to get this under control here. We've been seeing this white van, this looks like this white maintenance van, weave in and out of traffic, not abide by traffic laws, with police not too far behind. So we'll just have to see whether or not this van does get on the highway or the interstate at some point. And so we're gonna hopefully check in with Fox 11 in Los Angeles. Okay, so maybe I jinxed it here. It does look like possibly they're getting on the highway here, but this is a stolen car pursuit. Uh-oh, oh my, okay, look at that. Wow. That is why these pursuits are so dangerous, because you never know how they might impact all the other drivers who are following the rules and being safe. That is what we just saw here. And so as we approach the top of the next hour, police are trying to do their best to get this under control, but it does seem like maybe they're going to attempt some type of pit maneuver here. Okay, watch for a pit maneuver. Remember, you can only do a pit maneuver when the car is going at a certain speed. You can't do it when the car is going too fast here. We're about to go out to Fox 11 in Los Angeles at the top of the next hour, but you can tell that the cruiser there behind is trying to attempt some type of pit maneuver, trying to get up parallel to the vehicle itself to attempt that pit maneuver here. But like I said, this is very close to Santa Monica, near the 3rd Street Promenade, near the Santa Monica Pier, and it doesn't seem like they're getting on the interstate at all, on the freeway. It seems like they're kind of going in some type of rotation around the same block, because we've seen this part of LA before. This is a stolen pursuit, meaning that this is a vehicle that is presumably stolen. Don't know who's driving, don't know how many people are in that vehicle. They're running into some traffic here. Viewer discretion is advised. Okay, that is why viewer discretion is advised here, because these are very dangerous. And so law enforcement hopefully will get this. Oh, see, you can tell. Look how close that is. This is a driver that is driving extremely erratically and is not heeding any of these signs, traffic rules, laws, what have you. Running into some traffic, though. Look at that. Look at that. And he's going to get out and run. He's getting out and running. He backed up into the vehicle right in front of him, and he is on foot right now. Look at pedestrians are out and about. It's almost 6 o'clock there in Los Angeles on this Wednesday night. Law enforcement driving up onto the sidewalk near him. Look at that. Someone's on the roof. They want to get a visual of this. Okay, and it looks like law enforcement getting the dogs out. Wow, look at that. And that law enforcement cruiser just went over the boulevard there, the public transit boulevard. Okay, look at that. That is on Santa Monica Pier. He is running up Santa Monica Pier right now. He's not running anymore. Dropping to the ground, hands sprawled, legs sprawled out. Viewer discretion is advised. Law enforcement there, weapons drawn. Looks like there might be tasers drawn. Look at that. Look at these bystanders here. That is something. I have covered a lot of these. I've never seen anything like this. This close to Santa Monica, this close to downtown, police cruisers going up almost onto the Santa Monica pier. His hands behind him, they're gonna cuff him. This was a stolen car pursuit. Look at this, this was a work van. Look at everyone around getting their cell phones out, trying to capture this. They don't see this every day. This happens in Los Angeles more frequently than you think. We haven't been on one of these in a while. Look at that. They're frisking him. They're emptying his pockets. So the duration of this chase that we brought you, this driver ran into 2 cars, and we hope that they are safe, the drivers of those vehicles here, and there you can see. Take a look at that. Now in custody of law enforcement. They got him. Let's go out to Los Angeles just so we can listen to some of their coverage of this. I'm Andrew Kraft. We're going to go out to Fox 11 right now. Let's listen.
Rear-ended,
that person, rear-ended. Sometimes the injuries you can get from that are really bad for your spine and your neck and all the rest of that too.
I don't think they were going at an overly crazy amount of speed right there because traffic was already backed up, and that's what happens in that point. That intersection there is just backed up, is congested any time of the day. This is rush hour.
So
not a lot
that's
of
a look at that there. So that's where the car was.
Yep.
It looks like it is indeed a Tesla there that got hit into. Or maybe, no, maybe it looks like 2 cars were hit into, probably a domino effect. First hit into that black car, which hit into the Tesla. It all happened very fast for us, just trying to see what was happening there.
But again, not at a crazy amount of speed. My guess is that the drivers are probably okay in this situation. Certainly, it would ruin your day, ruin your night. You're trying to get home from work or go somewhere, go to dinner, whatever, and you got to deal with this now in the police report and wait for that to all happen.
So it'll be fascinating. Hopefully we learn more in terms of what else this person maybe wanted for as they're now walked back into custody. They were so desperate to get away, and they will not be getting away. So here's one of the close calls from earlier that we watched, and you saw just how dangerous this thing really was.
And again, police staying right on the tail of this driver. So we're wondering, again, if there's more to it than just a stolen vehicle. Simi Valley police on this one. So there you're going to see as this pursuit kind of comes to an end here, as it just bottlenecks there. Oh, right.
That was the driver that got sideswiped. Hopefully there was nobody on the passenger side of that vehicle, right? Because that could potentially be precarious. We never saw anybody get out one way or another. Hope that person is okay. So what a pursuit.
All right, let's continue on right here on Live Now from Fox. Next up, number 6 of the top 10 police chases of 2025.
Look right now at a scene from a bit earlier this morning as we are getting a news conference here. A police chase through South Los Angeles ended this morning when the suspect's truck crashed into an innocent driver's SUV. That suspect, who was driving a stolen truck, he was taken into custody immediately after the crash. The driver of the SUV, who's a woman, was taken to the hospital with injuries. The extent of her injuries currently unknown. Some graphic footage there on your screen. Well, what we did want to do is head over to Los Angeles. As I just said here, we are getting that live update from police. Let's listen in.
Good, everybody good? All right. Gigi, ready? Oh, you guys ready? All right. On August 1st, around 7:30 a.m., officers from Central Division became involved in a pursuit of a Code 37 or stolen vehicle. The pursuit was terminated and entered into tracking mode given the suspect's erratic and dangerous driving behavior. As the suspect traveled westbound on Washington, he collided with another vehicle that was traveling northbound on Trinity. Both vehicles came to a stop, and the suspect was taken into custody without incident. Both the suspect and the victim were transported to a local hospital for medical attention and for a complaint of pain. I'm going to do it in Spanish. Condition of the victim? The condition of the victim and the suspect is unknown at this time. I'm going to do it in Spanish now. Balbino, you ready? Yeah. All right. El 1 de agosto como a la... Oh, you want to phrase this way better? All right. El 1 de agosto, como a las 7:30 de la mañana, oficiales de la División Central fueron involucrados en una persecución de un carro robado. La persecución
All right, so this is the Spanish portion here, but if you are just tuning in, I did want to share with you what we are learning right now from officials there in Los Angeles. Once again, a suspect in a stolen truck who led authorities on a police chase through South Los Angeles today is in custody after the pursuit ended in a horrific crash with an innocent driver. According to the owner of the stolen truck, Shelby Hazlett, the vehicle was stolen. And the driver of that speeding pickup truck was seen blowing through intersections, running red lights, and at least twice traveling on sidewalks to escape traffic and pull away from officers. Let's listen in here to see if this is back in English for this Q&A portion.
It wasn't a long pursuit, but I want to say, it started at 7:30 p.m. at 7:30 a.m. excuse me, but unfortunately that's as far as we have.
What do you know about the suspect?
Well, the suspect at this time, he is going to be booked for a stolen vehicle, code 37 vehicle. Yeah.
You know if he's under the influence of anything?
You know what? At this moment, we don't know if he was under the influence or anything. Right now, the concern is just making sure that the victim is all right and the suspect condition as well.
You said the victim complaining of pain?
Yes, both the victim and the suspect were transported to a local hospital. It's just an abundance of caution for complaint of pain primarily. Their injuries are unknown at this time. They could be different, but at this moment, it's just complaint of pain.
Is the suspect the same one who stole his vehicle prior?
I'm sorry?
His vehicle was stolen twice, according to the victim of the stolen vehicle. Do we know if that suspect is the same?
I don't have any information confirming whether or not this was the same suspect that stole it twice in 1 week.
So when it went to pursuit mode, does that mean like there was an officer following, like hanging back? Was the airship overhead? Do you have any of that?
Well, whenever we go in pursuit, there's a difference between pursuit and tracking mode. Pursuit mode is when you're actively following the suspect, and tracking mode is initiated, like in today's case, when the suspect's driving becomes erratic and it poses a danger to the public. Then we will fall back and just have primarily the airship, our helicopter, keep an observation of where the suspect is going. Algunas preguntas en español? Do you guys want me to answer any questions in Spanish? ¿Unas preguntas en español? Nada? Okay. ¿Cómo? Ah, bueno.
When did it shift from tracking mode back to pursuit? When did that shift?
Although I don't have the exact times of when the shift happened, it was at the moment that we realized that the suspect's driving was dangerous and could pose a threat to pedestrians and vehicular traffic as well.
So it went back into pursuit mode at the very end before he...
You know what? I don't know if it went back into pursuit mode. Yeah. It did not. It did not go back into pursuit mode, actually. Yeah. Anybody? Questions? Preguntas? Preguntas? Questions?
Can you get your name on tape?
Sure. Of course. My name is Officer J. Chavez. Chavez is with an S, C-H-A-V-E-S, and I'm a public information officer for the Los Angeles Police Department.
Sir?
Oh, mi nombre es el oficial, Jader Chávez, Chávez con S, y soy portavoz para el Departamento de Policía de Los Ángeles. Con este solazo, uy, me acabo.
Once again, that was a press conference that just wrapped up moments ago there in Los Angeles. And you are taking a look there at some of this footage captured by Skyfox. And once again, we do know here that authorities confirmed the pursuit had been terminated there just before 7:30 a.m. That's when the suspect collided with an SUV that flipped and landed on its roof in what appeared to be a vacant lot on the corner of Washington Boulevard and Trinity Street, as you can see on the map there if you are familiar with that area. I'm going to wait to see if the video loops here again so we can take a look at that there. But the suspect immediately got out of the car and was walking around before police officers contacted him and took him into custody. Once again, this Skyfox video that you're watching right now from the scene, it shows a woman getting out from that SUV who appeared to be injured, but was speaking with police officers, and she was put on a gurney by firefighter paramedics and transported to the hospital. There was no one else inside of that SUV.
And we continue on here. Welcome to Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Mike Pache. Always great to be with you. Let's continue the countdown. This next one, a DUI suspect leads police on a chase.
And welcome back here to Live Now from Fox. I'm Andrew Kraft, out to the Los Angeles area right now. Skyfox overhead of a police pursuit of a possible DUI suspect there. I'm being told this is in the Woodland Hills area. California Highway Patrol, as you see there, in pursuit right behind. Okay. Remember, viewer discretion is advised. This has been going on for quite some time from what I've been reading, from what my producers have been telling me. You can see there, though, this red sedan is weaving in and out of what looks to be light traffic right now. It's almost 8 o'clock here on this Monday night on the West Coast. But you can see, oh, look at that. Extremely reckless now getting off the ramp here. You see where this is going. This is the 101 South, exit 21. This is in Encino. Police very close behind. We'll see if they attempt some type of pit maneuver. Remember, the pursuit needs to be at slow speeds in order to attempt that. It's not at slow speeds right now, about 75 miles per hour on these main roads here. So not on the freeway. They just got off the freeway, this driver. And it is kind of wild and abandoned. No traffic impeding this driver right now. But you see a lot of these cars, they are pulling to the side to let the police get through here. Remember, this is extremely dangerous for other drivers on the road. Okay, so some traffic here, viewer discretion. Okay, wow, look at that. That is why these chases are so dangerous. That driver ran a red light, oncoming traffic, sparing him ever so slightly. Not entirely sure how many drivers there are, or excuse me, how many people are in the car. We know there is a driver, obviously, and we're told this is a possible DUI suspect. Not entirely sure, say, if there's a passenger or not. Oh, wow, he's driving on the other side of the road here. Take a look at that. That is extremely dangerous. All right, so because it's a DUI suspect, you just don't know how impaired the suspect could be and under, what substance they're impaired from or by. And so you see there police honing in, narrowing in, not too far behind at all. But this is in Encino, if you're familiar with the area there in Southern California. Hopefully we can check in with our Fox 11 Los Angeles team about this, but like I said, this driver has been extremely reckless and erratic, and we'll see whether or not police can get this under control and subdue this suspect and bring them into custody here. So CHP, that's California Highway Patrol, cruisers, they are pursuing behind. Oh, look at that. That guy was running across the street, probably didn't even know this police pursuit was happening. But look at how clear the roads are. No traffic to speak of. You see there, he just ran a stop sign. It is almost 8 p.m., and so maybe that's why. And he's on some of these main, yes, but side roads as well. Okay, let's see whether or not this driver gets back onto the freeway. You saw there, he left the road briefly into the brush there. And we'll see whether or not CHP officers can cut the driver off. They're a little further behind now. You just have to wonder whether or not these drivers wear out, whether the confidence runs thin here. Now it's on some side street of this neighborhood. You never really know about the psyche of some of these drivers, why they lead police on these very long pursuits, especially this one, which could be this DUI suspect. This driver could be impaired. That's what makes this so dangerous. And so here you can see high speeds yet again for this chase, this red sedan. Not entirely sure what type of car this is. Okay, so take a look at this. Remember, viewer discretion is advised. Look at these trucks. They're moving to the side in order to stay safe. Still now some medium traffic there. We'll see what this driver does. There he goes. So it looks like for now, only 2 of these cruisers behind. Don't see any more. But every time we see chases like this, and these drivers, these suspects get up to an intersection, you never know what they're going to do, and they're bold. Oh, wow, that was close there. Wow, look at that. Swerving now in the center lane, Looks like they're attempting to try a pit maneuver. They're trying to get lateral and perpendicular to the car itself. This is extremely fast, high speed, very dangerous here. And you see the cars getting caught in the middle of it. You got to spare a thought for those drivers. This is extremely dangerous, extremely volatile situation on the streets. It looks like we're now in Lake Balboa. This is about half an hour outside of Los Angeles, and that car is going upwards of 100 miles per hour on these streets. Remember, he's not even on the freeway. We'll see if he gets back on the freeway, but this is very dangerous. And you just have to wonder, when is this driver going to decide that enough is enough? And what are the police going to do? Remember, this is too fast to attempt a pit maneuver, and you see, this is how, minute by minute, second by second, these drivers approach these things. They're trying to figure it out, as you would imagine. They're trying to evade law enforcement. Law enforcement is trying to bring this under control here. Viewer discretion is advised. I'm going to say that every time we see this go through an intersection, because you never know what's going to happen. So Skyfox overhead right now. We're nearing the top of a new hour there in Los Angeles. This is in Southern California. We'll see whether or not Skyfox keeps with it. Right now, it seems like Skyfox is looking for the chase. Sometimes the chopper needs to refuel. Don't know what's going on with that right now, so bear with us here. So we don't know where this driver is. We don't know where the chase is. They're trying to find it, and they found it. There it is. So, yes, back on the freeway, it looks like. This is the 405 South, upwards of 110 miles per hour. This suspect is taking this police on. I mean, remember, it's a possible DUI suspect, and so now that we're on the highway, it could be very dangerous. And so we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see whether or not any of these CHP officers do call for backup. We only have seen 2 of them so far trailing behind. This is a very fast chase. I've covered a lot of these. I have never, ever seen it or seen one this fast. And that is why this is so dangerous. But as you can see there, no traffic. It looks like they're in kind of the HOV lane, trying to weave in and out of traffic. Very erratic, very reckless here. We'll see whether or not this suspect stays on the freeway or gets off on yet another ramp here. We're in Sherman Oaks now. Okay, yes, that's what's happening. They're getting off. Wow. Okay, and here we go. Look at that. Crashing into the embankment there, the concrete embankment. Look at that. You see there's a Tesla parked in a driveway. Viewer discretion is advised. CHP officers now on the scene, out of their vehicle. You see there that sign he also crashed into, opening the passenger side door. They're trying to get the driver's side door open. But that's what happens when these suspects drive at such high speeds. It can end like this. They lose control of the very car here. Okay, viewer discretion is advised. They're taking him out of the car. Looks to be a male suspect, wearing jeans, a white t-shirt, looks kind of tall. CHP officers now handcuffing them. But look at that. Look at that. Look, the red sedan right into that Navy Tesla. And you see there straight through the shrubs there and the concrete embankment. Wow. And back up now, getting onto the scene here. More CHP cruisers joining to assist as they take this individual into custody. Now we're hearing this was just a possible DUI suspect. That could change. He maybe have sought for something else. We just don't know. He's now on the sidewalk sitting, handcuffed. You got to wonder who lives in these homes here, whether or not they are home at the time, if they are, whether or not they know even what's happening. Look at that. Look how strong the impact of the crash was. Those cinder blocks on the sidewalk below there. And now you can get a better facial profile of this suspect in full relief here. They just took his cell phone. He's handcuffed. Looks like they're asking him some questions, probably reading his Miranda rights. And you saw it. They manhandled and dragged him out of the passenger side door because they could not get the driver's side door open because of this crash. So we're going to stay on this until they put him back into the police cruiser. I would imagine the suspect's pretty dazed and confused right now. But like I said, we cover a lot of police chases here. That one was one of the fastest I have ever seen. And then just like that, they end in dramatic fashion like we just saw. Thankfully, no one was hurt. And now the driver is going to have to face the consequences for what he led CHP officers on. And thankfully, you know, I just have to say, thankfully, no one was struck by this car. No one was injured by this car during the course of this pursuit. That was my main concern. It's always my main concern. Okay, you see there now CHP officers checking out this Tesla there. Look at this, this gentleman there coming out probably to look at his car. You see some people there in the driveway of the home, probably scratching their heads. What just happened? So thankfully, it doesn't appear that anyone was in that parked car at the time, but you can see the moment of impact there and all that kind of dirt and mulch and debris from these shrubs and the cement embankment resting on top of that Tesla there. So, like I said, what a dramatic end to this police pursuit here. We are nearing the top of the hour. It's almost 8 o'clock there in Southern California. Let's stay on this shot. Stand by. More where that came from. Okay, so we will wait and see when this suspect will be taken there into one of these police cruisers, as you can see there. So I believe this ended in Encino, and now you have a lot of these CHP officers talking with this suspect there. I wonder if he needs to have any medical attention, but you can see some of the residents in these homes come out to take a look to see what happened in their driveway, of all places. It's now 8 o'clock there in Southern California. This actually ended in Sherman Oaks. You see there probably some of these residents in the driveway, possibly the owner of that very Tesla, trying to figure out and come to grips with what exactly happened.
And we continue on right here on Live Now from Fox. This one is a long one that takes us through the streets of Southern California. This is number 4 of the top 10 police chases of 2025.
There's a number of resources that are deployed to this, and if you don't have sufficient resources and he comes out shooting, we don't want to lose any more officers. And I've been to many police funerals. Their lives are very precious, and we need to maintain their safety and their security. So the general public's in jeopardy. The officers are in jeopardy. Well, thank goodness we've got technology. We got the helicopter. I know there's some critics about the noise of the helicopter. Without a helicopter in situations like this, you would really be desperate to try and keep up with the individual.
I wanted to paint a picture of what the video we were just showing our viewers, and that was the driver going the wrong way, trying to loop around. The driver went 110 southbound for a number of miles, ending up in the San Pedro, the Wilmington area. looped around there going the wrong way and got back on the 110 northbound to then end up on surface streets eventually after being on the freeway. So we've been pursuing this or following this pursuit since I think before 4 o'clock or right about that time, give or take. And we've seen this driver return to the South LA area. Police very effective with that spike strip on the freeway, damaging those tires, but that driver still going and going. The pursuit still on.
Well, they're deploying all the resources they have. They can't basically ram the car with the police vehicle because if the individual does have a weapon, then there's direct line of fire to the officers in the police vehicle. So you can't do that. They've really done everything they can logically, reasonably do.
Yeah, Dennis just saw that spike strip video again. Impressive. Police stopped the traffic, deployed that spike strip as that driver was on the shoulder, it appears, of the freeway. There you go one more time. Traffic stopped. There you go. Spike strip. Okay, and they got that driver's side tire, and then we saw later on the passenger side tire comes off. So that driver now riding on the rims there in South LA. We're watching more footage here of this pursuit to show you how their tire right there on the driver's side came off. This is earlier video. You saw that bumper was hit when that driver went the wrong way, and that's why that bumper started coming off. Started, I say, because it's still hanging on there. And there you saw that driver's tire on the passenger side come off. So that's what we're dealing with at this hour as we're coming up on 5 p.m., the heart of rush hour in Southern California. In Compton, that driver it's got to be a very uncomfortable ride. Dennis Zine, I'll bring you back in here. For that driver riding on rims now, how does that feel to drive a car like that?
I've never done that, but I'm sure it's not very comfortable. I don't know what kind of seat you'd have to make it comfortable, but when you're driving on rims, we know that there's at least 2, if not 3, driving on rims. There may be 1 tire left, but those rims will give out eventually. It's grinding into that asphalt, the cement on the roadway. You got the cement, you got the asphalt. It's going to grind down where it won't move anymore, and then it starts to catch fire. I've seen that happen when the actual rim will catch fire because of the friction between that and the roadway. So what we're seeing now is a repeat, I believe, of some of the other shots that we've shown, and it's just a continuation of just wandering through at a very slow speed. But again, they're not going to do a pit maneuver, which seems, well, just a pit maneuver, bring it to a stop. If he has a gun, which is very possible, then you open fire, and the officers, it's not worth their jeopardy to have that happen. So this will continue, as I said, until that car gives out. He's not going to surrender. The car is going to give out. And then whether he gets out of the car or if they have to use resources to get him out, additional personnel, that'll be the case. So we'll have to see when that comes to pass. But it should be pretty quick.
Dennis, you said that a while ago.
I know, but those rims, I can't believe these rims are holding up this well. Because the rims finally give out. I mean, they're grinding down. It's grinding down, and eventually they're not going to be able to go. They'll just lock down. There's probably a dozen. I'd say there's probably a dozen police cars in this pursuit, at least a dozen.
Well, one of the videos that we were showing our viewers as to how this pursuit's been happening throughout time here is we saw a lot of pedestrians, people on the streets there on the sidewalks with their cell phones out, documenting video of this. That's because this pursuit became a very slow speed pursuit. You are standing perhaps on the street corner for whatever reason, and you see all of these police cars coming your way. You know something is up. We are in a day and age where people roll with their cell phones and post on their social. You can look at the left-hand side right there. People right there taking video. I mean, it's not every day that a pursuit comes your way and you can watch it go by. It's kind of like, oh, wow, there goes a pursuit.
Multiple times.
Yeah, go ahead.
Multiple times it's going by the same neighborhoods that kind of like that neighborhood down in San Pedro and Harbor Division. This is all Harbor Division, as I understand.
Southeast LA.
Where is it? Oh, Southwest. Southeast. Southeast. Yeah. Okay. We were further south, but I guess you moved up a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, Florence. Wait, South Main and Florence?
Main and 70th now. You saw somebody there on one of those little motorbikes. You know, you have to wonder if this driver, because we picked up this pursuit in Southeast LA, we're back now in Southeast LA, are they on the phone with somebody they know? Are they talking to people in the neighborhood? Are they driving by their home? And sometimes you have that where police encounter residents who come out who know this person that police have been chasing, and that's a whole different crowd dynamic.
That's it. That's right. And you want to get that individual into custody and away from there as quickly as possible. You don't want to get that neighborhood up in arms about it. That doesn't create anything except more problems. But they do have sufficient units. If those are all the harbor units, or maybe southwest, southeast units of response to this, but primarily harbor division. And each division has a certain number of black and whites assigned per watch. It seems that there's a whole lot of black and whites down there that they've got to be from some other divisions in addition to harbor division, southeast, southwest harbor, in the southern part of the city.
So a wider shot here of the neighborhood goes to show you how residential this area is, and you fear for the safety of every single resident when a pursuit comes to an end, because we have seen suspects run. We have seen suspects run into someone's house. Right now, this driver is just driving and no sign. You know, sometimes we see, Dennis, they pretend to pull over, they start to pull over, they attempt to pull over, they even open their car door, they jump back in. This driver has made no signs that he or she is going to stop yet. No even attempt to stop.
They play the cat and mouse game. This is not playing cat and mouse, just continuing, they're not stopping, not complying, just continuing whatever speed. And the speed right now, obviously, is extremely slow. Because of those rims, you're running on rims. But I'd like to get a count, if we can get a count of how many black and whites are in this pursuit from the beginning to the end. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not more than 12.
Well, you think of the manpower, the taxpayer dollars, the cost to citizens.
Oh, yeah.
And
you
time they're not on the call, right?
And is there more than one suspect in that car? There's all these possibilities. Is there more than one? The weapons, the automatic weapons? You know, you've got to have more than two. Normally it's the primary and the secondary, and then a supervisor. But in this case, we have basically a whole watch. But they may be from adjoining divisions. They may not all be from one division. They may be from different divisions in South Bureau.
And CHP hasn't been on this one at all? It's been LAPD the whole time on the freeway?
I haven't seen CHP engaged at all.
Is that because of the nature of the want? Murder suspect?
No, just necessarily LAPD started it, and LAPD had enough resources. The CHP will do it from time to time. I think they're black and whites. I think they've lost a few along the way. They may have been, they've been ordered to just continue because I think there were 12 at one time. They're down to like 6 or 7 now. They don't want it to be a parade. It's not to be a parade. It's to be very serious to take him into custody. But you know, this individual obviously not complying. Obviously doesn't care. Obviously, if they've been through the criminal justice system, been to jail, they don't care. It's like you have a spoiled child that just doesn't want to do the homework and doesn't want to go to bed. It's just like, okay, what are you going to do to me? What are you going to do to me? That's exactly what this individual is acting like. Doesn't care.
We say spoiled child, but I'm thinking murder suspect. This could be, you know, a lifetime behind bars, a lifetime incarcerated, depending on the crime, and if this is indeed the suspect. So, in bars, a lifetime incarcerated, depending on the crime, and if this is indeed the suspect. So, we are just watching this one play out with hopes that it will come to an end soon, with hopes that it will be a safe ending, with hopes this driver will just eventually pull over and give up, posing no threat to officers or civilians there on the street. Rush hour traffic there, and that driver trying to wedge through the red light. Oh boy, that is really dangerous. Those cars have no idea this car is trying to sneak through.
And you can see the speed of that car is extremely, maybe 20 miles an hour, maybe 20. It doesn't care, you know, going through the red light, it doesn't care. And if someone's not paying attention, they might get broadsided. And a bicycle, a motorcycle rider.
Dennis,
there's just a lot of factors that come into play here.
In your decades of law enforcement, would you say in your decades of law enforcement, would you say there's a pursuit every day in Southern California?
Yeah, more than one.
Really?
when you think of the 88 cities in LA County, everything from Los Angeles, the different departments, Beverly Hills, Burbank, Glendale, Pasadena, Hawthorne. I mean, there's 88 cities. There's a ton of police departments. They don't all get the coverage, but obviously CHP gets a lot of coverage, LA gets a lot of coverage, sheriffs get a lot of coverage. But they're looking for these violent criminals who committed heinous crimes. In this particular case, if you're dealing with a murder suspect, how many victims were murdered by this alleged individual, the suspect, I should say. We can't say they're guilty because that's the judge, the jury, the court. We can just speculate, say what they're wanted for, what the suspicion is. But after that, it goes into a different level of review. And, we don't know sometimes the outcome, but we see it at this stage. And then we'll see an individual taken into custody, gets handcuffed, goes away in a police car. That's the last you hear about it. You may read it in the paper in a couple weeks, but most people, that's it. It was just a feature, and that was it.
Well, Dennis,
code 4.
We are looking at a wide shot of Los Angeles, southeast LA. We are going to end our coverage shortly here at Fox 11 Plus and go over to Fox 11 News at 5 p.m. A lot of news to cover today, as you might imagine. Right here, I'm not sure if the chopper pulled away because of jurisdiction issues, the airport, et cetera, or if because of the top of the hour, stations are gearing up to cover other news, the bulk of the day's news. But you're looking at Southern California, wide open freeways there on this rush hour time coming up on 5 p.m. where police are looking for a murder suspect. They do have body cameras. We'll keep a watch on this. Thanks, Dennis, for joining us.
You're welcome.
Fox 11 with some of their coverage.
Breaking
we
news.
Have been. It looks like we had a little bit of an audio interruption there, but I'm Austin Westfall. I'll be on the desk with you for the next few hours as we cover the nation and the world's top headlines. Unfortunately, that's how these police chases go sometimes. Sometimes they don't come to a resolution. That seems to be the case here. If Fox 11 does get back over that chase, we'll try and pick it back up live. For now, it does appear that we've lost track of the suspect. Again, if there's any updates through the news wires or through Fox LA's news wires, we'll bring you any updates as soon as we see anything. By the way, I still have the live feed in front of me. They have left the chase on their air. What we were just listening to was Fox 11's newscast. I have the raw chopper feed as they appear to be searching for this suspect. And you know what? It looks like they have found the suspect. There we go. So you know what? We're going to keep this going here on LiveNOW. Again, most of what we know so far is what's been on the title on your screen. This is a potential murder suspect that police have been chasing now for at least over an hour. I haven't myself watched the entire thing, but I know that we've been above this thing for it feels like at least an hour to this point. This vehicle has been driving at a moderate pace for the most part. We've seen this vehicle with a damaged bumper traversing city streets. You can see the damage to, and there we see making contact with the curb. This driver driving again erratically. This is southeast LA. This possible murder suspect in Los Angeles has not been driving too quickly, but we've noticed that this suspect has been driving erratically at times, running red lights. That is the case sometimes. Freeways, overpasses, they'll get in the way of some of these chases. We're not exactly sure why the feed is dropping off on us right now. I'll stick with this for a second in case it picks itself back up. It is very possible that we've lost our feed there with the chopper. So again, that's what happens with these police pursuits sometimes. It's possible that the feed will return. For now, we're seeing nothing but blackness. So if the connection reestablishes itself, or if I see that Fox 11 Los Angeles gets back above this chase. We'll bring it to you. Guess what just happened? Looks like we did just get the feed reconnected. We apologize for that. These things do happen on live television. We're at the mercy of the transmitters aboard this chopper. I myself do not have direct contact with the pilot. Not exactly sure why the chopper had backed off of this pursuit for some time there. Sometimes there's air restrictions. Sometimes there's airports nearby that restrict air traffic. As the suspect makes a right turn, their bumper still hanging off the tail there. We see at least one person in the driver's seat. It is unclear to me whether or not there could be anybody in the back seat. This is a possible murder suspect being chased in now southeast Los Angeles. Speeds of about 30 miles per hour. You just saw him driving into oncoming traffic for a moment there. So we're hearing that Fox 11 Los Angeles is back above this with their coverage. Their anchors calling this chase. Let's listen in. They might know more than we do.
Wrong way in the San Pedro area and looping around to get back onto the freeway. The bumper hanging by a thread this whole time on freeways and surface streets. But what you can't really tell here is that a spike strip was deployed on the freeway and 2 tires are missing. Look at the driver's side tire right on the rim there, and that's a good look at the driver, a good look right there at that driver. There's also a tire missing on the passenger side. So while the pursuit now is about 30 miles per hour in southeast LA, at times it went up to 100 miles per hour on the freeway. The driver was going very dangerously through neighborhoods, running through red lights, driving through crosswalks where you had pedestrians in the crosswalk. Let's see this one right here. Weaving through traffic to try to get away. Again, this is a murder suspect call on this one. According to our police expert, Dennis Zine, detectives were investigating this one. The driver somehow decided to flee, and then black and whites were called. So it wasn't a crime scene at the moment, I believe. Detectives were investigating, and they are saying they are looking for a murder suspect. Now, this car has been going and going with tires missing. You would think that a spike strip would bring a pursuit to an end. Yeah, nope, but it is much more slowed. We've been in southeast LA for at least 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. Again, that driver making his way from San Pedro and Wilmington to the south on the freeway, getting off in the Compton area and on surface streets, taking Main all the way up to get back to southeast LA, and apparently feeling a little more comfortable in southeast LA. That driver's staying there. LAPD is on this one. It'd be great to show you some of the videos. You could see really how dangerous this pursuit was as we monitored it around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And you really saw that this driver was going to do everything he could to get away from police. No attempt to pull the car over. Okay, right here, this is the wrong way. This is the wrong way. Watch here. Not so bad here, but wait until you see these semis. He's going to come up on some semis. Whoa, dangerous. He's going to clip a truck in a minute. Stand by for that. Here we go. Here we go. There comes traffic. There's that truck. Watch the bumper. Watch the bumper. And there you go. That's the bump right there. Eventually, that bumper kind of peeled off and has been dangling ever since. The driver now. Okay, watch for the spike strip. Watch there. Bam, right there, spike strip. What police did is they stopped traffic. They got a perspective of the driver and his pattern, stopped all of that traffic, were able to deploy that spike strip, and there you see, oh, yeah, looks like we just live right here saw the tail end of a spike strip being deployed. That driver was able to go around the spike strip, weave around it. So it's amazing that they got him there on the freeway. He probably thought that traffic was just stopped because of rush hour and was speeding down, I believe, the shoulder of the road, and they had that spike strip out there. No other cars affected. They got him, but as you can see, that car can still go on those rims. It's a smaller car, more of a lightweight car. Not sure how much gas is in there. Could go for a very long time. No sign at all of that driver attempting to pull over, thinking about pulling over. Sometimes we see drivers will stop, start again, stop, even open their door, start again. Some will even get out of the car and get back in and start again. None of that. This driver has been going and going. And not sure if they're just trying to ride out the tail end of their freedom, given that it's a murder suspect, or they actually think they're going to try to get away. This is the southeast area. We have LAPD on this one. Our big hope is that nobody's hurt, that this driver doesn't try to carjack somebody else or make a run for it into a home or a business. Obviously, police are going to have to keep a little bit of a distance because it's a murder suspect. They can't necessarily run up on this suspect. We don't know if this person has a weapon or not. So here you have yet another pursuit in Southern California. For anybody watching here, I am surprised if you're watching from, say, out of state or out of the country, how open the road is right here. This is the heart of rush hour traffic in Southern California, and often we see our streets backed up bumper to bumper. But you can see a lot of people there on the streets. This is a relatively slow speed now because of the damage to the car. And look at the people out there. And oh wow, that's some erratic driving. Was that a change in direction, or is the car actually, is he not able to control the car? Okay, we're hearing somebody threw something in the road, so not sure if that driver tried to avoid that or tried to go down that street realizing, oh, wait a minute, there's commotion here, let me not go that way, and corrected or overcorrected. But here we are now. Again, this is a very residential area, and that's my concern at this hour. Children who are out of school, it's still light out, people walking their dog, you know, homeowners who might not have their door locked because it's daylight out. Anyway, Fox 11 is covering this the best we can. Sometimes we have flight restrictions that have to make us pull out wider. We are keeping a watch, though, as best we can with, obviously, the police helicopter is also in the sky, along with the Skyfox helicopter. You also have the police vehicles, a number of them trailing this car, so it'll be easy for us probably to pick up this pursuit should we have to pull wide for whatever reason. Here is a look at some of the video of the people that we've seen come out or be on the streets and witness a pursuit in their neighborhood. It's not every day you see a car flying down the road with a number of police cars behind it. I always tell people it can be dangerous. We're dealing, like I said, with a murder suspect who may have nothing to lose, who could take a hostage, who does have a weapon. To what lengths are they willing to try to get away? So obviously those people were probably just doing their thing, living their lives, and saw a police pursuit coming their way and decided, as we do with our cell phones, to roll video. All right, looks like that suspect there ran a red light. Not a lot of traffic here at this hour, which can be surprising as we think of 5 p.m. But again, no signs of slowing or pulling over. Okay, whoa, this could be dangerous. This driver doesn't stop for cars going the opposite direction. So here we go. Interesting traffic there, huh? All right, well, as we continue to pursue this, it's been a long pursuit. Let's bring in our other police specialist, Tim Lynn, who's going to join us now and pick up our coverage. Tim, you think of murder suspect here, no sign of stopping. What are your thoughts here?
I've been watching this since it first came into the area, and it's just been unreal that they've been following this vehicle as disabled as it is. They haven't gone up and done the pit maneuver. Now, I don't have all the information that you probably have, Christine, but it's, you know, if it's an armed suspect, that's why they're not getting up and pitting it. But there's other things they can do. Now, I've seen Metro come in with their armored car and basically just push them into the curb and pin them in on a situation like this. But there's some reason why they're just letting this car roam and not actually being more aggressive, especially a murder suspect in a situation like this. So, but, you know, as we always talk about, you know, on these pursuits, we don't have all the information, and, you know, the PD does, and so they're reacting to the information they have. And unfortunately, the visuals we have here is because of the LAX airspace, and once he stays in there, area just east of the 110 and north of the 105, it's going to be tough for the helicopter to get close enough to see it. But this guy is really giving it for all it's worth on his car. No front tires on it. And you see sparks coming out every once in a while as that caliper hits the ground. This is unbelievable that it's gone on this long.
You make a valid point. We don't know what police know, and apparently they were investigating this murder suspect. They may know exactly who they're dealing with, and they may know of a weapon possibly on board or not. But you're right, we've been following this in the South LA, Southeast LA area for some time. You would think that police have a pretty good perspective of the neighborhood. Oh, wait, right there, Tim, we're looking at video where somebody threw something into the street. That driver then curved around it or not. We thought maybe the car was going out of control. Looks to me like, okay, it's in the street there, bam, right there. The driver either runs over it or tries to get around it, decides to maybe go left. Sparks there, maybe go back on straight. Anyway, that was a moment. Let's just say it was a moment in a pursuit that's been kind of just straight down the street for a long period of time.
Well, the time I've been watching it here, I've seen 3 spike strips thrown out in this area trying to get it. The driver, even without front tires, were able to maneuver around the spike strips. And you see those weaving around it. And he's having a tough time driving it. But even with the car disabled as much as it is, he's still getting around the spike strips and trying to evade and stay moving, because once they get this car stopped, it's going to be tougher for this car to start moving again because of the lack of grip from those rims on the ground. But, you know, all we're going to see is just basically right now little shots of him up between the buildings. And because of the distance, you see he's still moving along and working away. But LAPD doing everything they can right now to try to take out those other 2 tires, the 2 back ones, to where they can get this car, you know, totally disabled. But just watching the I want to say body language or the activity of the officers, not coming in for a pit maneuver, not coming in trying to spin this car out and jam it into a curb. There's something else going on here that they know, and more than likely they know this suspect is armed, because that's the only reason why I, in my experience, would stay far back and stay away from him, because other than that, there's no reason to let this go on and endanger other people on the streets here, because he's in a very congested area of the South LA area here, because those streets are small. As he works his way through, there's lots of pedestrians, lots of cross traffic, and small intersections that he's maneuvering through. And there's other things they have to keep in mind as the officer who's following and the supervisor who's on scene taking control is, do they want to really get this suspect stopped to where you see a group of people on the side of the road who are just kind of watching this go by. But they don't want to stop him in an area to where if this guy is armed or this driver is armed, what's going to happen at the end? Is he just going to bail out? Is the driver just going to bail out and start shooting? Is there going to be gunfire? Is there going to be some type of other thing going on? But you see here just forcing along the side here on the wrong side of the street, and then slowly maneuvering here on this left-hand turn through there. But what this does now, with all these police cars going through the neighborhood, going around in circles, lots of people are going to come out and start watching from the street, getting out on the street, watching it go by. And that's the last thing the police department needs, is to start building a crowd through the area to where now you have to take care of the crowd when this comes to a stop, and then also protect yourself from what may come when this suspect comes to an end. But once again, I'm really feeling that there is information about weapons in that car, because LAPD right now has perfect time to go in and spin it around, especially right here on Figueroa, where it's so big and so wide, it'd be easy to get it turned around without hitting things. Here comes a spike strip.
Whoa. Oh,
they're trying, see?
That driver, darn.
And you know, that right there just takes away all my suspicion of an armed a weapon in the car, because you just had 3 to 4 officers totally exposed to this car and exposed to the driver. So To me, you wouldn't have officers out there standing in the open throwing spike strips if you thought for a minute that they were armed. But you can see here just the car blocking them off and going around. And we had earlier another car that was following in, and they were worried. We were hearing that that car was involved in the pursuit somehow, to where we've seen before where another vehicle will come up and then the suspect will jump out and get into another car and speed away. So they've got to keep that in mind. And they were talking about it was an Audi that we heard, and I believe they've taken care of that because the trail cars should be able to stop that car and get it out of the way. But here, look at the traffic. Look at all the people
look at the bumper.
out here. Yeah.
Look at the bumper now. It's now, I said hanging by a thread before. Now this is by one thread. You know, and that could be a danger for other motorists. I've come across something like that in the middle of the road where you come to a screeching halt to kind of, you know, not crash into it, and then you have other cars behind you who have no idea why you've come to a screeching halt. And then you have the officers there behind it as well. At least it's not the high speeds we saw on the freeway with that bumper hanging there. You make some interesting points as we watch this one here, and the point I'm thinking that stands out to me is this driver has gone in a circle, it's so to speak, in the southeast, South LA area. And you're right, is there going to be a buddy who pulls up and says, hey, let me help you out, jump in the car, let's go? Does somebody else get involved? That's the scary part about being in the same area. You get a pattern going here.
Right, and also you have the other drivers who don't know what's going on, and they have this guy going along, and you're just listening to the radio, driving home, and all of a sudden, this person stops, gets out, yanks you out of your car, and takes your car from you. We've seen that happen many times before. So a lot of things that can happen during this pursuit, and that's what the officers have to flex to. And you have to be flexible when these things come to an end, because you don't know what's going to happen when it does stop. So you have to be prepared for gunfire. You have to be prepared for a foot pursuit. You have to be prepared for anything. But it gets down to this area. We'll see if it pops out over here on Main Street, but it may. Well, I'm trying to look here to see if it's coming to an end, but it's. This has been really tough on the photographer aboard Sky Fox to stay with us from being so far away. But the reason is LAX, or the LA Air Traffic Control, will not let media in over the pursuit in what they call the surface area or the approach area for LAX, so they have to stay south of the 105 and look up into the area to stay with it. So right now we're searching.
Let me paint that picture for any viewers who might be watching who are not familiar with Los Angeles or the LA area. We do have flight restrictions in the LAX area in which local media cannot fly, and as you might imagine, in the path of airliners coming in or going. So that makes us have to fly that much further back. My question for you, Tim, having been in police work for so long, can an LAPD chopper fly within LAX airspace?
Yes, they can, and they make special provisions for that. And some of the reason is because it's a very compact area. It's dangerous to get too many helicopters into that small airspace, and to be able to maintain separation between the helicopters and the jets that are flying overhead. So the LAPD is able to fly over the pursuit and stay with it just as they need, because there's just one helicopter in that 900-foot very compact area. But looking at the way the officers are setting up a perimeter here, I got a feeling this has come to an end and it's gone to foot, because you have officers taking up corners at different points here along 92nd Street and Main Street. You see now officers up here blocking off traffic, and if we, as they pan to the left, you'll maybe see another perimeter unit set up. But just seeing the couple units that I've noticed, and there's no more movement of that car, more likely this has gone to a foot chase, and they're going to have to do what they call a perimeter to seal off this area and try to contain the suspect and to take him into custody. So right now it looks like it may have come to an end.
Yeah, that's good wisdom there on your part. We thank you for that. And you might have this insight as well, but we are getting confirmation from Fox 11 sources that SWAT has been called in, LAPD SWAT. So who knows if there was some kind of action that we haven't witnessed yet, or they were coming in as the next move, or this did come to an end, or perhaps the perimeter was set up. He's boxed in. Okay, so we're hearing he is boxed in at Main Street and 92nd. So boxed in, what does that mean? Is the person still in their vehicle? Are they out of their vehicle? Obviously, they can't go too much further now, and that's the benefit, Tim, of this driver going in the same area.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. They say he's surrendering.
Yeah, we just got word. He is surrendering. Okay, there you have the best shot we can give you, given this LAX airspace, of police with their guns drawn. We have eyes and ears that are informing Fox 11. A little more information there on the ground. Tim, jump in if you know more than I do, but we are told he is surrendering. You can see the car right there. Obviously, police, look at the people that live there. Yeah. Oh, that's scary. Tim, thoughts real quick.
Yeah, it's people like that just come out, don't even think about what the harm could be. But yeah, more than likely they may have put a car across that street and stopped him, and then the other cars came in and blocked him in, and then he was in the car in a standoff position. But luckily, he's doing the right thing and giving up, or he or she is giving up this chase. So came to a peaceful end here.
Tim, right there, I'm going to jump in here. Yeah, there you see police have moved in. You see the suspect there with his hands on his head there for a minute. And there you go. Police are moving in. They're putting the cuffs on him right now. It doesn't appear there's anybody else in that vehicle. But finally, the suspect was brought to a stop by being boxed in, by going in the same area, give or take, here in Southeast LA for a good 20, maybe 30 minutes. And that's how this pursuit came to an end. Thankfully, nobody hurt here in these homes. The suspect didn't make a run for it into somebody's yard. And it looks like they were able to bring this to a close, Tim, the way we want it to end. Police officers going home, nobody hurt.
That's correct. That's exactly how they want to end these things.
So what do you make of the way this one ended? We've covered so many pursuits. You had spike strips. You had the outcome here where he was boxed in.
Yeah, there's, you have, like I was going through you flex with what's going on. If an opportunity presents itself to where they can park a car across the street and get out and leave it, and if that driver goes down, now he's blocked in. I mean, that's a good move to do that. There's spike strips. They kept doing that. Obviously, they weren't going for the pit maneuver, but you do what you have to do to get the car stopped, and hopefully, in a situation like this, the car just ran out of the ability to move once they got it stopped, and then they had the suspect contained. So normally in these situations, they're not allowed to do roadblocks. But in this type of pursuit with a slow speed like this, where the risk of collision is very minimal, yeah, just blocking a street with a police car and then getting out of that police car and leaving it there just to use it as a roadblock. And when the suspect came down, you see that car across the alley there. More than likely it was a kind of quick thinking of the supervisor on scene to make that move to get it to stop in that area, because once he was doing those circles and staying on the same streets around 92nd, 91st, it made it a little bit easier. So luckily the police won out on this one, got it stopped without incident, and nobody hurt.
Tim, thank you so much for your coverage, perspective, and insight. We appreciate you very much. We have a busy news day. We're going to move on now to other news. We're going to talk now about the...
All right. Fox 11 Los Angeles, bringing us the conclusion of a chase of a murder suspect. It appeared the suspect surrendering, so we did get a conclusion there, as you guys might have been watching. Sometimes we don't get conclusions on these chases, so thankfully it appeared that one wrapping up there after a pretty dangerous pursuit, making its way through freeways and surface streets in Southern California.
And we continue to roll on right here for you. Now we are in the top 3 police chases of 2025. This is number 3 right now. A woman leads police on this chase.
But, it looks like just the driver inside the car right there. But we did hear earlier on that there were 4 people in there. So unless there's 3 people in the back seat, that would be pretty interesting in itself. You're going to be coming around here. It's a nice move by Sky Fox. Chris at the tiller this morning doing a great job keeping an eye on this pursuit. Again, LAPD, they are in force down there. A number of vehicles on the ground. They could have gone to tracking mode because they did launch their helicopter a little little bit early for their shift to get over this pursuit. But the guys on the ground, they seem to have this in hand. The slow movement or the slow speeds, that is a huge plus, and it makes me feel a little better when we do these pursuits, when these vehicles are moving a little slower. It might be a little less exciting to see, but definitely going to be safer for anybody on the ground down there. And again, they're saying the original want stolen vehicle. This all is becoming very unusual. The pieces don't seem to fit what we're seeing. So we're going to kind of just keep an eye on it, but it is definitely a pursuit out there. You got a big truck. We're in the area of the Veterans Hospital. That's the reason why it's kind of like littler streets out here. But again, I don't know if this person knows where they're going or they're just driving and having LAPD follow them around.
Well, I mean, we can breathe a sigh of relief here that at least the driver is driving at a slow rate of speed through these surface streets, so that is good news. So perhaps it is still a following at this point. And from what we can see right here, there is the driver. Of course, if there were 4 people in the car, it's possible the LAPD knew something and maybe saw this earlier on, and there were 4 people that bailed before the driver then took off.
They're going to pit him. Oh.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I always forget that my mic is open. Yeah, there you go. Here we go. Here we go. I figured it was going to happen underneath the trees. There you go.
That
nice
was a
pit
successful
maneuver.
one.
But you know what? That's not good. And the airbags deployed on that officer's vehicle.
Wow.
This is not good at all. The vehicle, and they left it in reverse. There you go. The door's open. It seems to be a female driver, and she's on the phone and no shoes on. So she's grounding herself. I hope those officers are not going to take. This got turned into an entirely different situation when that happened. We saw it live, but definitely a scarier situation. And that driver seems to really have some kind of attitude about what is going on down there. And
still on the phone.
Again, who knows what she's got, what her issues are. But right now, LAPD, they're not taking this lightly at all. They definitely have less than lethal available to them. But if this attitude and aggression continues, we're going to be very careful on how we show this. But again, I hope those officers are all right. We did see the airbags being deployed in those vehicles, in that vehicle, and then the doors popping open. That driver jumping out almost immediately. And I thought she was on the phone, but it looks like she's just holding her ears right there. I'm going to get a tighter shot just for a few moments. But definitely this woman's having
taunting officers right now.
She's definitely undergoing some sort of a mental health crisis here, and she's screaming at officers there. Interesting, there were reports that there could have been more people in the car at this point with that car now coming to a stop up above on a curb now. That it doesn't look like there's anybody else in the vehicle. Looks like the airbag may have deployed there as well. Maybe not.
Airbag deployed. The officer's airbag deployed.
But now it's a situation where these officers will try to talk to her and try to bring this to a peaceful resolution. Montana and
this
Birmingham
is very
Avenue.
difficult for those officers. You have to understand that they just basically that was an assault that'll come out basically as an assault on an officer after they did that pit maneuver. That vehicle basically, we saw it driving head on into that cruiser. I heard the airbags deploying, the cruiser's airbags deploying, the officers getting out almost immediately. That is a plus. Hopefully they are okay. But there is only one person down there, one officer with less than lethal. You see that green weapon right there. And what you're seeing right there is a person on a rooftop that basically was just in the area when all this happened. There they go. They're just going to take her into custody. That's probably the best move. That's called a swarm, and they're just going to take her into custody. But again, hopefully she gets the help that she needs, and whatever that problem was, it's going to be taken care of. And again, the original wants stolen vehicle, but I'm sure there's a lot more to this story. Maybe we'll find out, but right now it's coming to an end out here. Hopefully those officers are okay. One female suspect in custody.
From what we could see from the time that we were on this pursuit through the Westwood area, now through Brentwood, it didn't appear that anyone was hurt in any of this. That's the good news here. But certainly that we're hoping that the officers inside that police vehicle that was hit are okay. But looks like she's starting to spit also. We've seen this in other situations.
They had to sometimes put a spit guard on suspects when they're arresting them, because clearly she's going through some sort of episode, and now you see officers searching the trunk of her car. Stolen BMW.
Yep,
Overall, this pursuit was pretty calm, Stu, except for the very end when police did that pit maneuver, and then she just kept driving straight into that officer's black and white, and deploying that person, that officer's airbags as well.
Damn, and you could see both the airbags deploying in this one, the driver's side and the passenger side. We did see the door pop open almost immediately, the driver getting out. That's a huge plus. Hopefully the passenger officer is okay as well, and I'm sure they are, but they're probably going to be taken to a local hospital just to be checked out, along with the driver of that BMW. And you know, we saw the reactions, and you're right, I do believe she was spitting at the officers, not making her situation any better. The BMW right there, 5 Series, just up on the curb. But again, this could have ended a lot differently. Good work for LAPD, definitely, and keeping calm in a very tense situation at the very end there. But definitely what we wanted to see for sure as an ending. And again, this pursuit coming to a close out here in the Brentwood area.
All right, Stu, thank you for your coverage on that. We are coming right back after a short break, 7:23 on this Friday morning. We'll be right back.
All right, as you see there, we were just listening into that Fox 11 coverage of this police chase, but I want to re-rack the moments. If you miss it here on Live Now from Fox, this was the dramatic moment that police chase started to come to an end after that pit maneuver that was successfully done by those LAPD police officers. As you can see, the cruiser ended up smoking, but this is when the driver emerged. At that moment, we did see that it was a female driver there in the Brentwood area. Again, this is a report of a stolen car, according to our partners there at Fox 11. But you can still see there at the scene, very dramatic video this morning, as it is only just after 7 a.m. there on the West Coast. And again, that police cruiser on the left side of your screen is smoking from the impact of that car, but so many officers then swarming in the moments there. So again, first, what we know there, according to Fox 11, is that officers with the Los Angeles Police Department were in pursuit of that stolen vehicle there in Brentwood. And we did see from Fox and Stu, they were overhead that West Los Angeles neighborhood following this police chase from the very beginning. And right now, I want to play out the moments for you where they were able to take this woman into custody. But ultimately, you see, as this was happening, she was on the phone, it seemed like initially when she was getting out of the car. Not sure if she was doing that or just really putting her hands in her ears, but things were starting to emerge, and she was yelling at those officers in the area. I also want to replay this moment here as they had their tasers out and about, pointed at her. This is not, again, this is non-lethal, less than lethal that they had there, but a group of officers then swarming in, grabbing her by the arms, subduing the woman, and taking her into custody. So we did want to make sure that we were able to replay any of those moments here on Live Now from Fox if you missed it. But again, this police chase out of Los Angeles this morning, just after the 7 a.m. hour, quickly approaching 7:30 there. I want to show you another live vantage point that we still have at this moment of the scene. This is as the woman is officially being put into that police car there in this Brentwood neighborhood. This is right now there in Montana Ave and Birmingham Ave as well. So we did want to get this update in for you here on Live Now from Fox. When some of these police chases pop up, we always want to take them on air when we can. Once again, our thanks to our Fox 11 partners for bringing that to us here on Live Now from Fox.
And we continue to count down the top 10 police chases of 2025. Number 2 now, showcasing a violent crash.
Oof. This is... Oh, Jesus.
Those poor unsuspecting
there's
drivers.
somebody else.
Wow.
Somebody else.
Can you
How
even
many?
count the vehicles, Alex?
I mean, I've seen at least four vehicles that have been hit so far. I mean, this is bad. We follow pursuits all the time.
Yeah.
Very rarely do we see this many vehicles hit, and this many vehicles hit, and the thing keeps going. Usually, there's number 5 at least.
And the thing
Number
is that
6?
that flatbed is such a heavy truck. It's not getting a lot of damage or flipping over or spinning out. It's able to keep on going. Police have got to feel so badly about this. Oh,
no.
That one could have some injuries. That one could have some
into
injuries.
the gas station.
All right, I'm hoping businesses lock your doors. Lock your doors, businesses.
Give up. Oh, this guy walks out, and he's fine. And you worry about the other people that may have been impacted by this and walking out thinking that nobody sees them. I mean, what a joke. What a jerk who has put his own whatever ahead of all of these people, and it has now ruined the day and the vehicle and everything else of all of these people due to his selfish, callous decision to run like this. And you hope that those other people that were hit are okay, but some of that last hit looked really bad. And at a minimum, their vehicle is totaled, and you wonder, you hope that they're okay, because sometimes the injuries. And where's law enforcement?
Yeah,
everybody?
Hard to tell if law enforcement was behind him or just got backed up in the mess of the accidents, or are keeping a really good eye on him and know exactly what they're doing and when they're going to swoop in here. Obviously, he's not feeling the need to run.
Well, he's trying to blend in.
Well, that helicopter's right overhead.
Yeah.
He's got to know that.
Certainly ours is. I mean, clearly the guy isn't making the best decisions based off of...
That's why I said you had to wonder the mindset there.
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, this is just...
So as we watch him slowly, casually walk down the street, let's recap a little bit about what happened.
The helicopter.
There you go. Look at that right there on the median there. You wonder if that would do some damage or change the trajectory of that.
Boom, boom. That's 3 vehicles that are hit right
It gets
there.
worse. Look the way it pushes that car. It gets worse. The next one coming up.
Okay. All right. Let's go back. Let's go back full.
Okay.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, they're done with this guy. Enough.
Well, he's a big guy here.
Oof.
All right, he's a big guy. Took a few officers to bring him down there. Again, you wonder, is he on drugs of some sort?
And you wonder, does he have a gun?
The mindset.
Look at the officer, looks injured.
Well, he crashed on top of one,
Yeah.
On top of one officer.
He looks shaken up by this. This is a struggle. I mean, look how many officers are on top of this guy.
And reminding, they took him down there on the sidewalk there, praying that officer wasn't hurt too badly. You don't know if the guy had any kind of weapon in his hand as well.
Right, and they got to worry about that. The struggle to get the handcuffs on him. Wow.
When you see someone struggle like that or resist so much like that, my mind continues to go back to, I wonder if they are on drugs. And the way they're really trying to get this guy to comply here. Hard to tell if that other officer was able to get up. I don't see him on the ground there, although the chopper has moved the shot there, hoping that officer is okay. But look at the number of officers there trying to get this guy into cuffs and to comply.
Tim Lynn, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's just the typical struggle when somebody does not want to go into custody and they're of a physical size that it is a big struggle. Even though you have that many officers, it's hard to get somebody's arms behind them when they're as strong to be able to resist. Then if you have drugs on board that's masking the pain, they're not feeling the normal pain that somebody would. But this person here is, you see, trying to roll over and do everything he can to get away from the officers. You have officers controlling the legs. And it looks like now they do have the cuffs on, and they're checking his pockets and checking to make sure he doesn't have any weapons. But it's a struggle. If somebody doesn't want to go to jail, and they want to fight at the end, it turns into a battle, and it's just a matter of sheer weight to hold them down and to be able to get multiple officers to grab arms and turn them. And you saw the one officer punching. What that do, you try to hit them in the solar plexus to knock the wind out of them, to take some of the fight out of them, and that's a tactic that you could use once you get them around there, because they lock up on you and they won't come around. They'll do that to the solar plexus to try to get them to loosen up a little bit, so you get him. But you see, even though he's handcuffed and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 officers on him, he's not giving up. At this point, you think they would give up. But, you know, that's what police work's about at the end of these pursuits. You never know what's going to happen or what you're going to grab onto once you get there.
I mean, this guy looks like he's built like an offensive lineman. I mean, this is a big guy. And it was, I mean, to take 6 officers to bring him down, and one of whom got injured during the process, gives you an indication that this guy is big and strong, and you can see it still as they struggle to sort of move him around.
And keeping in mind, too, you had the one officer come upon him and I don't, if I recall correctly, pushed him against a car, and then another came in, and they all went to the ground there on the sidewalk. That's a hard hit to crash onto a sidewalk like that. You could break your nose, you know, you could hurt your hand, you could twist an ankle. Anyway, we have that one officer we saw that was struggling, looked like he was in a bit of pain, and hope he's okay. Tim, I'm wondering, as you watch this pursuit and how dangerous it was and how many vehicles this guy hit over and over, smashing into cars, what do you make of that behavior?
It's just the way he acted when he got out. It was almost like he had no cares in the world. He was going to get away. So you have a person with a mindset of, I'm going to get away, and I don't care who I'm going to hurt in my process of doing that. And once he crashed and disabled the vehicle that could not serve him anymore, he got out and just started walking away and doing exactly what they do, is they'll try to blend in and just kind of walk normally, hoping that no one notices them and they can just blend into the crowd. But that tactical flight officer aboard the LAPD helicopter kept a close eye on them and directed these officers into an area they have no idea where they're at, you know, unfamiliar with the area, but able to direct them in and take this guy into custody with, you know, a bit of a struggle at the end, but unfortunately one officer injured. But now we got to go back and see what kind of injuries we have on these cars.
Oh, man. Oh, that is just heartbreaking to see that.
Yeah.
And you wonder how many people were in that vehicle, and you just hope that there was nobody in that passenger side. I mean, that has potential for catastrophic injury right there.
You see the emergency vehicle there. Yeah, looks like a medical emergency vehicle there. Both of those vehicles got hit quite hard. My thought is this guy, this suspect, could have run into one of the businesses or the homes. The good thing.
And we continue to count down the top 10 police chases of 2025. And here we are, the top police chase of the year. It goes to this wild ending to this police chase. You're going to have to see it to believe it.
You know, there is nobody behind him, but now there's no lights and sirens. There's no way that anybody in the public has any idea that this person is driving recklessly near them, around them, or could possibly be running through an intersection. When we're on the freeways, it's a little bit different. It's kind of wide open, and higher speeds, well, everybody kind of speeds a little bit, but this guy's going 100 miles an hour right now on the northbound 170 freeway. And what's he running from? That's kind of the big thing. He's not really running from any officers on the ground. I'm pretty sure he's aware that the LAPD helicopter is above him. That helicopter very low, and basically kind of just telling him, hey, we got eyes on you. But are they going to let this guy go? That's the other side of it. What we're hearing was this is an armed carjacking suspect. So this person basically took that vehicle from somebody with force, with some sort of weapon. So that is a very dangerous person behind the wheel. Right now, though, we're blessed with light traffic today. It is definitely Friday light, and also the end of a holiday, but right now pushing 100 miles an hour northbound on the 170, using all lanes of the freeway, and it looks like we might be getting back off the freeway. And this is what it is so dangerous about all of this, is he's getting so close to other vehicles. Nobody knows that this car is coming up behind them at that high rate of speed, and then of course those blind turns and running red lights, it just compounds the whole dangerous situation.
What's weird is also, Stu, in the back seat, you see something flying out of the window, like a black fabric, waving out there. But clearly this is something we're going to be following for you. And as you see the car making a stop there behind those trucks. But it is 9 o'clock this morning on this Friday. I'm Sandra Endo with Aroxia here. And we are following the police pursuit of a carjacking suspect in the San Fernando Valley. Thanks for being with us on Good Day LA. But Stu, what is the latest that you're looking at right now?
Well, you know what? I'm with everybody else, and when you see something flapping out of the windows, and after those terrible things that were happening in New Orleans, you worry that possibly that is some sort of banner. It is not. It is not. I would venture to say that is some sort of window covering or something like one of those screens that they put over the windows, maybe for a child, but the window is down and it is just kind of blowing around in the wind or through that vehicle. That driver's still driving very aggressively. You can see some movement in the passenger seat. That's what we saw earlier on. We had a pretty clean shot of it. A female passenger, the male driver, and there might be somebody in that back seat. You got a lot of tint down there. You've got a lot of, in that thing kind of blocking the window. So we don't know, but I would venture to say it's probably, hopefully, just the two of them. But right now, making our way back onto that 170 freeway, high speeds out here, Sun Valley, and these are the calls that officers have to make. How do we protect the public? How do we keep our officers safe? It is a difficult call for sure. Right now, the helicopter, the LAPD helicopter is following it, but you can see that car making those hard turns, weaving in and out of traffic, and again, topping out, you getting into the triple digits out here. That's 100 miles an hour plus, and you know, that vehicle, it's a newer car, but again, I don't think it was designed for handling at 100 miles an hour, especially when they're making those hard turns and last-second decision-making, and with all that other traffic nearby, you just don't want to see anybody hurt, even the people inside that vehicle.
Stu, and there you see the police, black and white, the police cruiser right behind that vehicle. But again, just kind of going along with it, trying its best not to agitate that driver. Look at the speed, though, really picking up speed there. Sometimes you see things like this as far as the window's concerned when a window's been blown out or is missing, right? Someone will put fabric or some kind of something. It looks like that's kind of the case. You've been following this longer than we were on, so you tell us, did this fabric in the window situation arise recently, or was this how it was when you picked up the pursuit?
You know what? I saw it the moment we saw the vehicle. It was one of the things that I picked up right away. You could see that kind of flapping in the wind right there. I think that's actually attached, like they put it down and then they closed the door on it. I was afraid that it was some sort of banner or something. Thank goodness it is not. But also, look at this. 110 miles an hour, and we're doing those crazy weaving in and out of traffic. Going to get you a little bit of a wider shot because I just got to be careful what might happen down there if they are involved in some sort of high-speed crash. Passing these other vehicles, you can really get a feel with this wider shot how fast that car is going. Of course, we have the numbers up there on the screen for y'all, but it gives you a better feel when you're seeing this guy basically passing vehicles at freeway speeds. That is, it is pretty dangerous indeed. Right now, though, we're continuing. We made our way southbound. This car has been making a lot of U-turns. That's the only consistent thing that I can say, just as an observer of what's been going on. Many, many U-turns. We were north on the 170. Now we're south on the 170. We were he was making U-turns even on surface streets when we were trying to catch up to him. He was on Moore Park for a little bit in the Valley Village area. Right now, though, it does definitely seem like we're staying on that 170 because he's far over. So it's going to pick up onto the under the 101, and we might be heading through the Cahuenga Pass. But we've seen that car make these radical changes very, very quickly. So who really knows? Now we're getting into a little bit more traffic, and this always kind of worries me, especially when you start weaving in and out of these cars, and he has to start hitting the brakes because it does get kind of packed up. Look at this. This guy right here is probably like, hey, what are you doing, buddy? You know, and that's also something we don't want to see. Law enforcement doesn't want to see that either. Getting far over to the right and now coming all the way back. Oh, my goodness. This is just gets more and more scary.
He's basically gliding, you know. It's almost like a gliding motion across those lanes. Just weaving, cutting along.
Yeah. And what's interesting is that he did have his driver's side window down at one point. It looked like he was wearing kind of a dress shirt or a button-down shirt. And there is some damage on the driver's side car as well. So I wonder if that was because of this pursuit, during this pursuit, or was that damage there before?
You know, all those kind of questions we might get answers to later on, but right now what I can tell you is the assignment desk gave us a call, said, hey, they're following a carjacking suspect, and they were on the 405 northbound near Sunset, so that was in the Brentwood area. Skyfox, sad to say, but happy to say, is not just like a pickup truck. We can't just jump in and start it up and run, so it took us a few minutes to get up into the air. By the time we did, he was actually already on the 101 freeway, and he got off, but the point of the matter is we don't really know. The pursuit started on the 405 freeway, but they were over by Mulholland by the time the actual pursuit started because they were waiting to get other cars behind them. They can't just have one car there to light it, like basically what they say, light them up, turn on the lights and sirens. And if it's a pursuit, this guy is all by, or guy or gal, law enforcement is all by themselves. They always wait to get kind of back up. There's a whole process that goes on. They got the helicopter over it. So they had to get their ducks in a row. We were trying to get our helicopter in the air, but by the time we got there, he was already on the 101. So I don't really know if that was damage that was done to the car before, if this was, if that, whatever that is blowing in that rear window was there when they stole the vehicle or took the vehicle by force. But again, we also know it has Florida plates on it. So there's a lot of questions here. And again, LAPD not letting this go. So they believe that that driver is a dangerous suspect. Look at these high speeds. And I'm not sure if we're on Cahuenga or, yeah, we're on Cahuenga right now, right? And look at that, just making that turn. He did slow it down in time, but we're making our way into the Hollywood area right now. Might get a little bit dicey because we have some buildings to deal with, depends where he goes. But again, these high speeds, running those red lights, getting so close to all these other vehicles that just have no idea what's going on. Very, very dangerous. Look at that, red light, kind of forced to make a turn there. Thank goodness he didn't get any closer to any of those cars.
Yeah, that is interesting, the Florida plates. We don't have much to go on here. Just know that this was a carjacking incident, possibly an armed situation, right? So you've got this gray Nissan. You did mention there's a driver and a female occupant in the passenger seat. We don't know if there are any other people in the back seat. Tinted windows, really hard to really see. The only reason we were able to kind of see anything was because that driver's side window was down for a moment earlier. The Florida plates makes it a bit of an interesting twist, but
it could be a rental car.
Could be, yeah, very well be. Could be a rental car. Just going very fast, driving incredibly erratically, and you know the freeways were relatively empty, thankfully, as Stu mentioned, Friday light, what we say around here. So that was definitely good news in that sense. But now that there you go, the window's down.
Seems like see his face because he rolled down the window.
He's looking up. He's checking out the scene.
He can probably hear the helicopters overhead. So he knows that he's being followed, and he's stuck in traffic at this point on Cahuenga and Franklin. This is in the Hollywood area, and obviously a lot of traffic now building up on these surface streets.
Which makes it more dangerous, obviously, because now you have more people involved. You have parked cars, you have pedestrians, you have bicyclists. So this is becoming more dangerous. And in a way, it was almost safer on the freeway, right? Because you were dealing with fewer cars and fewer situations here. But continuing to drive erratically, just gliding through those lanes, careless, very careless.
Very careless indeed. And, you know, that's one of the things. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That is so much traffic down there. And we just basically made another U-turn. We weren't on the freeway, or, well, you haven't made a U-turn on the freeway, but our direction has totally changed. We were southbound, and now we're back northbound again, making our way back through the Cahuenga Pass, this time on the roads instead of the freeways. But, yes, definitely. When they get on the freeways, it doesn't mean that it's not dangerous. And it just means that there's, you know, less of a chance that there is a pedestrian or any other type of anything else, a bicyclist, anything that could get in the way. But there's still other cars out here, and he does get very, very close. And we have seen high-speed chases where they are by themselves. They make that hard turn. The car starts losing traction, and then, you know, poor driving, and then there's an accident, and people are injured. So we're always cognizant of that. And, of course, law enforcement, this is the stuff that they deal with. These are the things that they have to basically weigh out. It's like, how dangerous is this if we just let this go? We have the helicopter following it. You know, they are making calls. They are saying that, you know, this is where he is to the officers on the ground. And that's why I always say, when this comes to an end, it will miraculously, officers will just kind of appear out of nowhere because they are listening. And believe me, law enforcement, they want to do their job, and their job is to keep the public safe and to take bad guys into custody. And this person right here, right now, he's acting very badly. So this is what it's all about. But the concern while this is happening is definitely safety.
It's interesting because you saw the driver there lowering his window, and then it's up right now. It looks like there's some kind of white material now on the window.
No, it's the driver. It's the driver. It's that fabric which is flapping in the wind.
I see.
And what you're seeing, that white, is the driver's...
Is the fabric of the shirt.
Whatever it is, the hoodie or the shirt
Yeah,
or the
I
sweater.
guess because
that's what you're seeing, yeah.
The rear window is down, obviously,
Right.
and that's why you're seeing that black fabric flapping, but...
That's the driver.
You never know the state of mind of these drivers, why people do what they do, and why these pursuits start with, you know, to begin with, and where these drivers are going. Oftentimes when we follow a pursuit like this, it's really unclear their state of mind and their motivation here.
Well, sometimes also the more things escalate, the worse it gets, and people sometimes feel as though, you know, they have nothing to lose, and that's a very dangerous place to be when people feel as though at this point it doesn't matter, and that's when they can become more reckless, and that's when other people can be put in harm's way.
Definitely watching this car just kind of changing lanes out there. I was actually seriously just checking my phone, seeing if I can get any information, any kind of little tidbits that we might not have. Turns out just a lot of people saying, why didn't I tell them that there was a pursuit going on? I'm kind of busy. Anyways, we are watching this car, and again, LAPD in the air, and they are chasing them. And on the ground right now, they've opted out probably because of the high speeds and the dangerous maneuvers. They're going to keep their officers a little bit safer. But, you know, again, it's one of those handoffs because law enforcement, their lights and sirens are very helpful. I think there's are we off the one side? I thought we were actually right next to the North Hollywood LAPD. I thought that would have been a little ironic. Made that hard turn right there. I did see that's the first time I saw that rear wheel kind of slide out a little bit. So that was the first time I actually saw that car lose a little control. Now we're making our way clearly on Magnolia. This is going to get into a very busy area out here in the North Hollywood area. Lancashire is going to be up there, Riverside, all the big streets. And again, a lot of traffic out here. Even though it's Friday, a lot of people got to get to where they need to be. And they don't know that this guy is just out here running lights and making these dangerous decisions. What did he pick? He did pick Lancashire. So now we're on Lancashire. You know, you asked that question about what these people are thinking. You know, I would venture to say that they really don't have a plan. I would venture to say that right now the only thing he's thinking is got to get away, but he doesn't even really know what he's getting away from because there is nobody right behind him. The helicopter is definitely above him, and they're making those calls. They're telling law enforcement on the ground where he is and what direction he's going, and especially in North Hollywood, they were eager. I wouldn't say eager, but they were advised that this was getting into their territory here earlier on, so they know that this is going on, and probably all the other divisions nearby know as well. Right now, though, the helicopter, LAPD, keeping an eye on it. We're going to be getting into the Burbank airspace. I feel Jeff bringing up the helicopter, so I have a feeling that we're going to be staying up a little higher because possibly they have some flights coming in. Hopefully, we're going to be able to keep an eye on it, but you never know. It's always a fluid situation up here in Skyfox.
87 miles per hour on a surface street on Lancashire right there in North Hollywood, and we're looking at this driver going on the freeway, off the freeway, back on the freeway. So really unclear where they're going to go. Obviously, we don't know. And for one moment, I think from your vantage point, Stu, we did see the sign of a passenger in the car. As we've mentioned, there could be possibly a woman, a female passenger in the passenger side seat. And so we don't know the state. But clearly the car looks like it's a little damaged, right, from the side and the back. And then you said that the rear wheel seems a little wobbly at this point.
Yeah, you definitely some damage on that vehicle, and you know, clear. Oh gosh, that is. Anyways, there's definitely damage on the vehicle. That is not a clean Nissan. I can tell you that. That has been. It has seen it and been there, and it made its way back, and now it's. Oh, look at Oh my goodness. And you know, and that's the thing too. This is a little bit off at a distance, but believe me, that was a pretty close call. I venture to say that driver in that white vehicle. Believe me, they flinched. damaged. And I don't blame them. And this is what the problem is. This is what all the issues are with the pursuits. It is so dangerous for the folks on the ground. And of course, law enforcement, I've said it in the past, I'll say it again, they actually are concerned about the driver and in this case, the passenger safety as well. And that's the reason why we have all these policies in place where they say, all right, we're not going to chase them, or okay, we are going to chase them, or we're just going to use the helicopter. And in some cases, they just let them go. And I say it with a little disdain, but also in that same breath, it is the safer thing to do a lot of times. And that is what it's all about, is, how, I have a feeling this is going to come to an end somewhere in here. It looks like we're doing something. What? Oh, maybe just, you wanted to put some more dents in the car. That's what it was. You just wanted to put a couple more dents in the car there. Anyways, but making the turn, yep. She seems to be in some kind of Snuggie. They definitely addressed for the weather. I don't know if the Star, they were probably listening to Star a little bit earlier this morning. But both of them, wearing layered stuff. And again, even that, he could have got, could have bumped that car's the back of that car, making another sharp turn right there.
Backed into that dumpster right there to make that turn. And then
it's just crazy how.
Look at where he's going into. What is this? A parking lot. A parking lot.
No, this is it's a parking lot for an apartment building. I have a feeling they're going to park that vehicle if they haven't already and jump out. We're gonna move Skyfox as quick as we can around over there. Jeff making those moves, but I have a feeling that they're probably out running. I'm going to keep it a little bit wider just in case. But I would venture to say they might actually have known. Up there they are. There they are. There they are. That's what I thought they were going to do. She is definitely checking on whatever's in that back seat. Hopefully it is not. It is other people.
Someone else in there.
Oh my goodness!
But right now they seem unfazed. They don't. There's nobody following them, so they're just casually walking out. They're kind of looking around, but there's no black and whites behind them. So there they go.
Huh.
There they go. And I'm not sure where the guy went. I'm gonna turn up my. Sorry about that. Still got that same cold that everybody has. I'm turning up the scanner just a little bit to see if LAPD is making some calls right now. But I definitely can tell you we're at the corner. You see it. We're at the Runnymede in Lancashire in the apartment building. I was watching her more than I was watching the driver. LAPD more concerned about the driver, I'm sure. But right now, that vehicle parked. And everybody that was in that car now out of it and walking around LAPD. There they go. I have a feeling. The driver's being taken into custody there off of Lancashire. We'll move once again, and then she went back for something. Oh my goodness! You can't. You can't forget whatever that was.
It's hard to. Interesting. I don't know what the word is to say.
There's someone running in the back. Oh, those are officers there trying to go find her.
But just so nonchalantly, just like, oh, I forgot something. Let me go check on that.
After a high-speed chase.
This is bizarre.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. And you know what? Nobody. Look. Oh my goodness! I feel so bad for those officers. Oh my gosh! Wow. Oh, I feel bad for them. It's one of those ones. We got one officer behind him.
Okay. Keep eyes on
you know what? I was gonna say, thug life is a tough life. Whoa! Look at this! Look at this!
Oh! A good Samaritan, perhaps.
Who knows?
Something you don't want to do, get involved in a chase, but they went into.
I saw his hoodie run into it was right over here. I did just hear. I think somebody might have been asking also if the female's in custody.
Yes.
But
on the scanners,
but they are looked like a younger person in the back seat. I'm not saying a child by any means, but definitely seemed to be a little bit younger than the crowd. And then I also heard him saying something about the south side, so maybe they took him into custody here. But
and there we go, everyone. That is your top 10 police chases of 2025. I'm your host, Mike Pache. Thanks so much for being with us on this very special look back at the top 10 police chases of 2025. Take care, and we'll see you again in the new year. And welcome to Live Now from Fox. And welcome to Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Mike Pache. We are counting down the top 10 police chases of 2025. You know, right here on Live Now from Fox, we always bring you some of the latest live feeds and breaking news alerts